kissed to the point of weak knees by my wild husband. The wildest girl in Haining City is secretly married to the most powerful man in Haining City. It is said that no matter how powerful Jiang Yanzhi is, he can't hold his wildest secret wife. He is here again to catch someone. Babies. Let's have fun. In a night bar with lights blasting, Jiaojiao wrapped her cheongsam around her enchanting figure and danced on stage, like a night fairy, wild and passionate. The whole place was crazy, the atmosphere suddenly rose, and the moment she appeared, she attracted countless passionate whistles. Jiaojiao danced unrestrainedly, her long hair flying, her movements were open and close, wild and passionate. This woman is a natural stunner. Fourth master, this. In a corner where their voices were noisy, someone looked at the stage and was stunned. This dazzled. Why does this look like? Looking back in shock, I always feel that the fourth master is a little green. Shut your mouth. Jiang Yanzhi took a puff of his cigarette, looked at the various eyes that were exploding in the whole venue, raised his hand to put out the cigarette, and strode forward. Jiang Xie, who was famous throughout Haining City, married Jiaojiao, the eldest daughter of the Jiu family who played the wildest in Haining City. In front of everyone, he stretched out his hand to pinch the woman's chin, and a hot and domineering kiss was snatched in an instant. Perform a scene on the spot. What is a forced kiss? The shouting stopped, the passion stopped. Laser lights hit the stage, and the couple kissed hard. I want her. I want her. I want her. Their voices shouted like a tide. Jiang Yanzhi glanced at the audience, picked up the woman in front of him, and walked down. In the room, a corner of the cheongsam was lifted. Jiaojiao's hair was messy, and there was a rebellious look in her passionate eyes. Jiang Yanzhi. We agreed to play our own games and no one would interfere with each other. She stared at this man. He had a handsome face and clear facial features. Even in this situation, doing such a thing to her. He still looked wild like a gentleman. Mrs. Jiang, if you want to find excitement, you shouldn't come here. Jiang Yanzhi lowered his eyes and looked at the bright and flamboyant woman, with anger in his eyes. If Mrs. Jiang really wants to, I can do it too. Although he didn't want to get married, he didn't want to be cuckolded. Jiaojiao looked at Jiang Yanzhi like this, and raised her eyebrows. You wish. Jiaojiao chuckled and tried to pull her hand back, but Jiang Yanzhi didn't let her. He grabbed her head with his big hand and kissed her forcefully. Fourth master, mission is back. The door knocked suddenly. Jiang Yanzhi paused and stopped kissing. Although they were kissing fiercely just now, he didn't even have a breath at all at this moment. He threw Jiaojiao away and said in a cold voice, Mrs. Jiang, as a woman, you should love yourself more. You bastard. Jiaojiao gritted her teeth, with wildness in her eyes. Jiang Yanzhi. You are really a dog. I have no feelings, but if you dare to leave today, you will slap me in the face. Do you believe that I will put 8 or 10 of you on your head? Fourth master, this. The man knocking on the door was speechless outside. Others don't know if they dare, but the ancestor married by their fourth master is really daring. The eldest lady of the Jiu family in Haining City is wild and jumpy. She really dares to do it when there is something going on. Jiaojiao. Jiang Yanzhi's eyes flickered with fire. The next second, he suddenly pulled his tie open and turned back. Jiaojiao's eyes were red and her teeth were clenched. 10 minutes later. Is that enough? 10 minutes, just 10 minutes, to end everything quickly. This is really catching a bus. Get lost. Jiaojiao pulled the quilt over, full of wildness, but remember, I, Jiaojiao, would rather not have a dirty man. Jiang Yanzhi's eyes were cold, and he was not inferior to Jiaojiao in terms of venom. He looked down at her and said, Mrs. Jiang, the mending is not bad. Chapter 2, Fourth Master is quite busy. Fix. Feeling the discomfort in her body, Jiaojiao squinted slightly. Well, we're both the same. Fourth Master Jiang, it's just that the length isn't enough. Come on, who's afraid of who? Let us hurt each other, then. Jiaojiao. Jiang Yanzhi suddenly reached out, grabbing her neck. You better stop right now. Once he left, Jiaojiao touched the mark on her neck, coughing twice. Her expression slowly calmed down, but for a brief moment, a flicker of something else flashed in her eyes. Jiang Yanzhi, the man she had loved for 10 years, had occupied her entire youth. But in the end, wasn't he just like a cold, unyielding stone, something she could never warm up. Marriage was a graveyard, whoever took it seriously lost. The summer breeze couldn't stop the chill deep within her bones. Ding! Neon lights flickered across the body of a speeding car. Jiaojiao's gaze shifted, and suddenly, she turned the steering wheel sharply, pulling over to the side of the road. A black Bentley, his car. A woman in white stood by the car, his heart's favorite, his white moonlight. The two stood by the car, facing each other, the world at peace, yet she felt like an intruder, unnecessary. Hey! Fourth master, you're quite busy, huh? With a sharp twist of the gas pedal, Jiaojiao sped past them. Her presence was full of wild charm as she smiled broadly at Jiang Yanzhi. Fourth master, you're free right now, right? How about we grab a meal together with your white moonlight? Har! What was she even saying? The legitimate wife and the mistress, enjoying a meal together with the man? Shinruoshua looked up at the woman in the car. The moment Jiaojiao appeared, she immediately reached up to wrap her arms around Jiang Yanzhi's waist. Jiang Yanzhi heard the provocative challenge in Jiaojiao's voice. He turned around, his gaze icy. Are you following me? Shinruoshua smiled faintly, withdrew her hand, and casually brushed a strand of hair from her forehead. Her gentle demeanor stood in stark contrast to Jiaojiao's bold energy. My eyes aren't blind. The road is so wide, and yet, just these two little sprouts occupy the best position. Are you planning to make headlines tomorrow? Jiaojiao glanced at Shinruoshua, but her attention was entirely focused on Jiang Yanzhi. The two women's gazes met across the night, clashing fiercely. Shinruoshua, pure, unapproachable white moonlight, weak and helpless, born needing protection. Jiaojiao, wild like a rose in the field, bold and beautiful, flourishing without care. Who is she? She's actually pretty. Jiaojiao raised her chin and playfully asked Jiang Yanzhi, pretending not to know her. Jiang Yanzhi remained silent, coldly watching Jiaojiao. Shinruoshua smiled gracefully, her voice soft. Hello, Miss Jiu. I'm Yanzhi's friend. My name is Shinruoshua. Wow, your friend's really fair and delicate, Yanzhi, you've got good taste. Jiaojiao said with an exaggerated, sarcastic tone. Though it seemed like a compliment, it was clearly laced with mockery. Shinruoshua felt like she had just swallowed a dead fly. Miss Jiu, it's not nice to imitate the way I speak. So the little white flower had turned into a lotus, huh? Well, it seemed like she was no longer pretending to be delicate, she was ready to directly face the challenge. Jiaojiao found it amusing and leaned into the act. Like a wild rose with no respect for the rules, she said, not bad, I've only learned a tiny bit. Compared to Miss Shin, I'm still a bit lacking. Shinruoshua stiffened. Was this woman really self-deprecating? She unconsciously glanced at Jiang Yanzhi. Jiang Yanzhi spoke, his tone cold, you should go back. Don't go too far. Oh. A scumbag and a slut so protective of each other. Jiaojiao whistled and obediently turned her car around. Then, she stuck her head out of the window and called to Shinruoshua with a mockingly sweet tone, hey, friend, my man has some shortcomings. Hope you don't mind. Take good care of him, and I might give you a reward. What kind of bizarre logic was that? Was she just a tool for serving the man? Shinruoshua's face turned pale as she watched the arrogant woman drive away, her fiery presence leaving just as quickly as it arrived. Yet, Shinruoshua still felt a tightness in her chest. This woman wasn't to be underestimated. Jiang Yanzhi's mood was equally sour. His eyes darkened as he watched her leave, the fire in his chest rising. Chapter 3, I find you dirty, you're done. Hotel. Jiang Yanzhi helped Shinruoshua settle her luggage and was about to leave. Yanzhi Gij. Shinruoshua took a deep breath, wrapping her arms around his waist from behind. Her face pressed against his broad back, and her voice was soft, just like in their past, when they were deeply in love. Yanzhi Gij, don't go, stay with me. When she heard about his marriage, she couldn't stay in country any longer, she had to come back to reclaim this man. This man was always meant to be hers. Jiang Yanzhi's tense body slowly relaxed. The next second, he turned around and pushed Shinruoshua away. Ruoshua, you just got back to the country. Rest well. His deep, dark eyes were filled with images of wild, untamed women swaying in front of him. But none of them were Shenruoxue. At this moment, every time he closed his eyes, it was Jiaojiao's figure dancing before him. He wondered if that woman had cast a spell on him. Yanzhi Gij. Shenruoxue was stunned, her eyes full of grievance. Yanzhi Gij, you don't like me anymore? I'm Ruoxue, I'm your most beloved Ruoxue. A woman's body was always the best weapon to deal with men. At least, that's what Shenruoxue thought at this moment. But Jiang Yanzhi didn't stay. He stared at her for a long moment, his eyes cold and steady. Then, he left with a simple, cold remark, rest well. The car sliced through the darkness, speeding through the streets in the dead of night. Jiang Yanzhi's heart was ablaze. Far from extinguishing, the fire only grew hotter and fiercer, burning brighter and brighter. Jiang family. After her bath, Jiaojiao sat in front of the mirror, staring at the bruise on her neck. She nearly smashed the mirror in anger. Fuming, she cursed, "Damn man! Is he trying to strangle me to make room for his white moonlight?" Even though his heart wasn't with her, as long as she wanted it, the position of Mrs. Jiang would always belong to her, Jiaojiao. Bang! The door to her room was suddenly kicked open, and Jiaojiao jumped in surprise. As she turned, Jiang Yanzhi stormed in. Jiaojiao quickly stood up, shocked. "Why are you back? Didn't you go to find your white moonlight?" Jiaojiao. Was this intentional? Jiang Yanzhi stepped inside, his brows furrowed with anger. "Why did you deliberately bring up our relationship in front of Ruoxue? What do you want?" Jiaojiao ground her teeth, stunned. "Jiang Yanzhi. Are you crazy? Your white moonlight doesn't want you, and now you come back throwing a tantrum. Get away from me." Jiang Yanzhi didn't leave. Just the thought of Jiaojiao calling him a toothpick made him want to strangle her. Unbelievable. She dared say anything and do anything. "Come here." Jiang Yanzhi's face was grim as he yanked Jiaojiao toward the bed and threw her down. "Not a toothpick, huh? Well, let her feel it." Millimeter. Suddenly, there was intense pain below. Jiang Yanzhi's face turned pale, and he hunched over, tumbling to the side. Jiaojiao kicked him, not satisfied, and gave him 2 more kicks. "Jiang Yanzhi. Do you think I care about your lousy toothpick? I'll tell you this, we're done. You've touched someone else's stuff, so never touch me again. I find you dirty." The more she spoke, the angrier she became. Jiaojiao jumped off the bed and rushed outside barefoot. The commotion woke the person who had already gone to bed. Su Wanrong came out in her pajamas. Seeing the two of them causing a scene, she quickly stepped forward. "Jiaojiao, what's going on? Why are you arguing in the middle of the night?" "Mom." Jiaojiao pouted and ran over, complaining, "Mom, Jiang Yanzhi has another woman outside. He was upset and came back to abuse me. Look at my neck." She made sure to point out the marks on her neck, going straight to report the situation. Su Wanrong was both angry and heartbroken. She gently pulled Jiaojiao away, rushing into the room. "Jiang Yanzhi. You little bastard, tell me, is what Jiaojiao said true? You've learned to abuse your wife now, do you want to go to heaven?" Jiang Yanzhi sat on the edge of the bed, clutching his waist, cold sweat pouring down his forehead, his face grim. Especially when he saw Jiaojiao dare to accuse him first, his teeth clenched in anger. "Mom. She beat me like this, do you think it's true?" His gaze, as sharp as a sword, pierced through her. Jiaojiao felt a little guilty. Maybe, she had kicked a little too hard. "Look at what you've done. Young couples fight, but you can't kick that hard, what if you injure him? Are you really planning to be a widow?" Outside the hospital consultation room, Su Wanrong sighed as she spoke. Jiaojiao lowered her head, looking obedient. "Mom, I wasn't really trying to hurt him. But he came at me like a thug, pulling at my clothes. I have a cleanliness fetish, so I find him dirty, and when I struggled, I accidentally kicked him." As a mother-in-law, Su Wanrong really liked her daughter-in-law, but still, she had to feel sorry for her son. It was both infuriating and laughable. With a stern face, she said, "You really dare to say anything? How can you speak so openly about such things between husband and wife?" Jiaojiao. What was so embarrassing about saying it? She didn't want to stay with this man anymore, even if she had loved him for 10 years. 10 years. She gave him the best of her youth, and in return, what did she get? A man like a rag, and since it was dirty, it should be thrown away. The position of Mrs. Jiang suddenly didn't seem so important. Mom, if I want to divorce him, would you agree? Jiaojiao asked in a low voice after thinking for a moment. Su Wanrong was stunned for a second, then immediately said, agree my ass. No. This marriage was arranged by both families. Even if you want a divorce, you need grandpa's consent. Indeed. This marriage was an expectation of the older generation. It was only after Jiang Yanzhi's grandfather cried, made a scene, and even threatened to hang himself that he reluctantly agreed. Even if they wanted a divorce, it had to be approved by the old man. Jiaojiao made a face. Mom, you're not being gentle anymore. Can she still be gentle? Her son was being kicked out of the house, and no matter how gentle she was, she couldn't hold it in anymore. Mom, you come from a Jiangnan family, you embody everything gentle and graceful. If you keep being so rough, how will I explain it to Dad? Jiaojiao began to act cute. She was lucky to have such a mother-in-law. But she was unlucky to have fallen for such a man. She was conflicted, but still, she wanted the divorce. And when she mentioned Dad, she meant Jiang Yanzhi's father, Jiang Wanher. Enough, stop acting cute. Your dad's on a business trip and won't be back for a while. Even if you really want to divorce, wait until everyone is back before you make a decision, Su Wanrong said with a delay tactic. Jiaojiao had no reply. Dr. Su, Jiaojiao, Yanzhi's condition isn't too serious, but he needs about a month of rest. During this time, he can't do any strenuous activities. The gentlemanly but insufferable doctor came out of the consultation room, pushing up his glasses while unable to suppress a laugh. Jiaojiao, how fierce were you to nearly ruin our young master Jiang? Chapter for life is a fate. Hearing that Jiang Yanzhi was fine, Jiaojiao had to admit that she was actually relieved. But he quickly added, Qin Shencheng, are you itching for trouble? I've already told you, it was an accident, I didn't mean it. Okay, you didn't do it on purpose, you just did it accidentally. Qin Shencheng corrected himself and then said, take the medicine, take it orally. Qin Shencheng is Jiaojiao's childhood friend. The two have known each other since childhood and have a childhood sweetheart friendship. Later, they met Jiang Yanzhi. Qin Shencheng and Jiang Yanzhi also knew each other. Jiaojiao went to get the medicine. Jiang Yanzhi came out of the clinic with an ugly face. Mom, where is she? Su Wanrong sneered, how dare you ask? Why did I give birth to such a useless thing like you? Tell me, who is the woman outside? Jiang Yanzhi frowned, did she complain to you? If they weren't in the hospital, Su Wanrong would have beaten him to death. Do you know whether to file a complaint or not? I warn you, break up with that woman outside as soon as possible. The Jiang family's daughter-in-law will always be Jiaojiao. In a blink of an eye, a few days passed and Jiang Yanzhi was not in so much pain anymore. Jiaojiao saw that it was going to rain outside. She didn't want to see Jiang Yanzhi's ugly face. She felt depressed and wanted to go out to play. Said to Su Wanrong, Mom, I'm going to the mall, are you coming? Su Wanrong put down the magazine in her hand, go. The mother-in-law and daughter-in-law were like sisters. They changed their clothes and drove out directly, completely ignoring Jiang Yanzhi. There are a lot of people in the mall. It turns out that spending money is the greatest respect for anger. The mother-in-law and daughter-in-law went shopping and were in a good mood. We found a place to eat at noon. Just as we ordered the food, Jiaojiao's phone rang. Ms. Jiu, let's talk. Oh, Bai Yueguang is really capable. He got her contact information so quickly. Jiaojiao raised her eyebrows and looked up. Su Wanrong asked, what's wrong? It's okay, I saw someone I know, I'll go over to him. Jiaojiao put away her phone and went to the rest area of the mall. Shen Ruoshua extended her hand politely, hello, Miss Jiu. Jiaojiao is also a well-mannered person. Even though she has a wild temper, she is still well-mannered. Hello to you too, Miss Shen. The two sat down. Shen Ruoshua pushed the juice on the table over and said, try it, it's freshly squeezed juice. Okay. Jiaojiao didn't hesitate and took a bite with a smile. Shenruoxue was surprised. Miss Jiu, aren't you afraid that I will poison you? Are you that stupid? Jiaojiao asked back. Shenruoxue smiled. The last time I met Miss Jiu, I knew she was a straightforward person. This time, I am even more certain. Jiaojiao also laughed. So, this is our fate as toothpicks. Toothpick. Shenruoxue was stunned for a moment. She didn't understand what it meant at first, but she quickly understood it. There was a hint of something else in her eyes. Miss Jiu, it's not good to say that about your husband, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Within 10 feet, he's a husband. Within 10 feet, it's still unclear what it is. Shenruoxue. In the past few days, she has been investigating Jiaojiao's affairs. From the information she has gathered, it seems that Jiaojiao is just a spoiled young lady by her family. He usually plays in a wild way and doesn't have much brains. Shenruoxue didn't take her seriously. But now that we've had this conversation, I suddenly feel that this woman is a bit tricky. Tentatively asked, Miss Jiu, it seems that she doesn't have much affection for her husband. Jiaojiao didn't like this way of talking. Mission coverts my husband, does that mean she has already invested her feelings in him? Then, how much do you plan to pay for him? Shenruoxue. Her cautious attempt felt like a joke in the face of such a straight punch. But Jiaojiao continued, but Miss Shen, you have to think carefully. What if he can't satisfy you? After all, sometimes the one you like happens to be a toothpick. Isn't this situation very embarrassing? What is embarrassment? Now it's embarrassing. Shenruoxue felt that there was no point in talking about this, so she reluctantly said, Miss Jiu is really good at joking. I'm not kidding, I'm serious. Not only that, but the time is short, probably only a few seconds. If Miss Shen still likes this kind of man so much and insists on taking him in, then name a price and I'll sell him off. After drinking a glass of juice, it tastes really good. Shenruoxue. He looked at Jiaojiao as if he had seen a ghost, and almost ran away. I have something else to do, I'm leaving first. Her mind was completely filled with toothpicks, 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 like a devil's sound filling her ears, which was driving her crazy. Jiaojiao didn't care what she stuffed in. Looking at Shenruoxue's quick walking back, the corners of his lips curled up. Mom, I'm home. The moment I got home, it was raining heavily. Coincidentally, Jiang Yanzhi was going out at this time. The servant handed over the umbrella. Jiaojiao changed her shoes at the door and asked casually, where are you going? Jiang Yanzhi looked at the woman. Although he is not a good person, he behaves well in front of his mother, you don't need to worry about it. Jiaojiao immediately turned around and complained, Mom, Jiang Yanzhi is going to find a wild woman. What's the purpose of opening your mouth? While your mother-in-law is pampering you, you must rush forward when it's time to complain. Su Wanrong, who had just come upstairs, heard the complaint and poked her head out from upstairs. Jiang Yanzhi, if you dare to go out, I will break your legs. Jiang Yanzhi didn't expect that Jiaojiao would be so despicable. Jiaojiao, you also have the identity of Mrs. Jiang, what else do you want? Driving away in the wind and rain. Jiaojiao let out a breath and cursed, scumbag. Marriage is bullshit. Whoever falls in love first will die first. Taking a deep breath, Jiaojiao's face was full of smiles, and she said to Su Wanrong, who was very angry upstairs, Mom, I don't plan to have him anyway, don't be angry, go to bed early. He strode upstairs to unpack the loot he had brought back from the mall. She spent a lot of money today. She bought a lot of things she liked, regardless of whether they were useful or not. Coincidentally, Qin Shencheng called her and said, Jiaojiao, come out and play. Jiaojiao looked at the rain outside the window and felt that it would not stop for a while. She was bored, it's raining, where are we going to play? This kind of rainstorm won't last long. It will stop soon. How is Nanshan Racecourse? Okay, then when the rain stops, we'll see you at the horse ranch. After making an appointment with Qin Shencheng, Jiaojiao turned on her phone to check the weather forecast. Indeed, there were signs that the rain would stop soon. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the heavy rain stopped and the sky was as blue as water. Jiaojiao immediately drove out and arrived at Nanshan Racecourse, where Qin Shencheng and a few friends were already waiting for her. They were all friends. After Jiaojiao hugged each of them one by one, a wild look flashed across her face. How about a game? Okay. Qin Shincheng laughed loudly. He was accompanied by a girl. The girl had a smile on her face and looked very happy. It was the first time that Jiaojiao saw her. However, she always felt that the girl was hostile to her. This is Yuan, you two should get to know each other first. Qin Shincheng pushed Yuan, and Yuan greeted Jiaojiao. Jiaojiao was wild in nature and whistled immediately. She's a beauty, Dr. Qin, is she your favorite? No. Qin Shincheng denied, looking at Jiaojiao and laughing, I have someone else in my heart. Okay. Jiaojiao replied, if you don't have work in the afternoon, go to karaoke at night, and then there will be a horse race. Whoever loses will treat us. Qin Shincheng has no problem, I will take a rest this afternoon and sacrifice my life to accompany the queen. The queen is Jiaojiao. Jiaojiao laughed again, who is afraid of who? A group of people went to their horse farm to change clothes. But as luck would have it, life is such a fate. Brother Yanzhi, this is my first time riding a horse, and I'm a little scared. Shinruoshua changed into her riding clothes, making her little face look even more delicate, which truly fulfilled her meaning of scared. Chapter 5, Vision is getting worse. Jiang Yanzhi hummed, changed into riding clothes, and picked a docile mare for her from the stable. Walk slowly later, don't be anxious, just listen to my instructions. Good. Shinruoshua said, her eyes full of admiration as she looked at Jiang Yanzhi. Bai Xiuxiu was sharp-eyed and couldn't help but poke Jiaojiao with her elbow. Jiaojiao, you should be more careful. Look at you, you are alone, cold and miserable. Look at others, they are full of affection, handsome men and beautiful women. How come you can't even keep a man? Bai Xiuxiu is her best friend, who usually speaks in a casual manner and knows more about the secret marriage between the two. This is like a disappointment in one's ability. Jiaojiao turned around and happened to see this scene of affection between the man and the woman. The corners of her lips twitched, and she said to Bai Xiuxiu, who doesn't have two stink bugs stirring manure in their pot. Come on, change your clothes first. Bai Xiuxiu wanted to vomit, please be careful with your metaphors. Will you be able to eat in the future? Able. Jiaojiao said decisively, change your clothes. Don't look at them, it's a bummer. Sneer in my heart. This guy is really out looking for a wild woman. She wants to go back and file another complaint. She and Bai Xiuxiu are both frequent visitors to the racecourse, which also has a fixed dressing room for two people and provides costumes. Bai Xiuxiu was wearing a white riding outfit, looking like an ancient female knight, and was particularly heroic. Jiaojiao was dressed in red, she was wearing bright and handsome clothes and riding a horse. The two of them changed their clothes and went out, immediately stunning everyone's eyes. Instantly, a whistle sounded, and Qin Shincheng circled around the two beauties. Okay, with all this wildness, if you can't win today, I will look down on you. Jiaojiao was lazy, tapping the whip in her palm, and squinting, who should I compete with? Who else is there, with? Before he could finish his words, Jiang Yanzhi brought Shinruoshua out. Qin Shincheng shut up, his eyes darkened, and then he turned to look at Jiaojiao. Can you bear this? Bai Xiuxiu clicked her tongue, let's have a fight. This is all because they are afraid that the world will not be in chaos. But Shinruoshua was also wearing a red riding suit, and when compared with Jiaojiao, the difference was instantly apparent. One is beautiful, gorgeous, bright and flamboyant. A little girl next door, timid and cowardly. This is exactly like the ugly woman imitating the beautiful woman. Jiaojiao was so proud that she was about to fly. She never chose a time to scold people, how dare you show off a fake? Jiang Yanzhi, when did your vision become so bad? Shinruoshua's face turned pale, you. Subconsciously, he looked at Jiang Yanzhi. Jiang Yanzhi didn't say anything. He looked at Jiaojiao and said, you dare to try anything. Jiaojiao, who is so wild and beautiful, just happens to have an extra mouth. But it is too beautiful. There was a hint of surprise in Jiang Yanzhi's eyes. Bai Xiuxiu rolled her eyes and said, why not let Jiaojiao compete with this lady? They are both beauties, so they must be worth seeing. I'd better not play. I don't know how to ride a horse. This is my first time playing here, how dare I compete? Although Shinruoshua didn't dare to compete, she was generous and frank. Seeing this, Bai Xiuxiu also felt that it was boring and became deflated. Okay, if you don't want to compete, forget it. They have said they don't know how to do it, and you can't force them to compete. Let me do it. Jiang Yanzhi said, staring at the flamboyant woman's face. Do you dare? There's nothing to be afraid of. The whip fell from his hand. Where's my horse? Pull it out. Jiaojiao's horse is a white horse named Meteor. Jiang Yanzhi's horse is a black horse named Zhuifeng. Both horses were the best in the stable. With the sound of the start, the two men galloped away, leaving the whole place in a cloud of dust. The shouts of "Come on" behind me were so loud that they pierced the sky. Jiaojiao rode her horse wildly, her red clothes fluttering, her eyes firm and bold. She looked just like a heroine in ancient times. As I watched, it seemed as if it was about to break through the air and go to the battlefield. Jiang Yang's black riding clothes almost blended in with the black horse under her. Holding the whip in his hand, he whipped the horse from time to time. The horse's hooves flew with great force. After one round, Jiang Yanzhi won. Shenruoshua couldn't help but rushed up to cheer. Brother Yanzhi, you are awesome. He raised his eyes and looked towards Jiaojiao, feeling proud of herself. Jiaojiao raised her eyebrows and smiled, casually flicking the whip. I lost. I'll treat you to karaoke tonight. Sing karaoke? Jiang Yanzhi thought of the crazy side of this woman. He pursed his lips and said nothing. Next, it's time to have fun. Some were riding horses, some were laughing, and the group was having a great time. Except for Jiang Yanzhi and Shenruoshua, these two people seemed to have been blocked by their whole world and no one cared about them. Brother Yanzhi, I'm sorry for getting you into trouble. I know Miss Jiu doesn't like me. Shenruoshua sighed softly and got off their horse. I'm tired. I'll go back first. She also felt embarrassed by this situation. Jiang Yanzhi pursed her lips and glanced at the charming woman in the distance. Okay, you go back first. I called a car to pick her up, but Jiang Yanzhi didn't send her off. Time spent having fun always passes quickly. After leaving their horse farm, the group ate skewers on the street and then went to the bar. If you agree to sing karaoke, you have to sing. Even the King of Heaven can't pull us back. Of course, Jiang Yanzhi was not among the people that Jiaojiao wanted to invite, but for some reason, Jiang Yanzhi actually came. Since you're here, forget it. I won't chase you away, but don't get in the way of my fun. Jiaojiao warned, and Jiang Yanzhi got a little angry. He asked with a sullen face, Are you as wild as last time? Jiaojiao, you are already a married woman. Although he had no feelings for this woman, Jiang Yanzhi had to admit, as long as she wanted, the stage tonight belonged to her. Like a goblin, full of wildness. Very eye-catching. You can get divorced after getting married. If you are not satisfied, then go ahead and get a divorce. The Civil Service Bureau doesn't have legs. How about we meet tomorrow? Jiaojiao poured herself a glass of wine and drank it slowly. On the dance floor, Qin Shencheng, Bai Xiuxiu and others were already having a great time. Several people were dancing enthusiastically and the atmosphere was quite lively. She also wanted to join in the fun, but unfortunately Jiang Yanzhi, the one who spoiled the mood, was still there. She was a little impatient. How long are you going to sit here? Your white moonlight is waiting for you eagerly, but you are here pretending to be affectionate. Jiang Yanzhi was irritated by her, but still had a cold face. Sit there until you come home with me. Are you sick? I want to sing karaoke and have fun. Then I'll watch you play. Jiang Yanzhi. Jiaojiao couldn't help but said, What do you want? What do you want? Jiang Yanzhi hasn't he figured it out yet. But what he was thinking was that tonight, his head didn't want to be green. There is no doubt that tonight was not a happy night. Jiang Yanzhi was like a sticky piece of dog shit that couldn't be shaken off. Jiaojiao didn't have a good time, so she simply paid the bill and drove home. She didn't go back to the Jiang family, but to her own apartment. The apartment was small, with only one bedroom and one living room. Jiang Yang got out of the car and followed her up, but she couldn't stand it anymore and kicked him. Stop following me. Jiang Yanzhi didn't hide, and still followed her into the elevator. My wife wants to cheat on me, I have to keep an eye on her. Jiaojiao was furious. Shut your dog mouth. You can't say anything useful. If you have time, go find your white moonlight. Jiang Yanzhi was scolded like a dog, and his face became even uglier. Jiaojiao, do I spoil you? Spoil. The moment the door opened, Jiaojiao suddenly pulled open the clothes around her neck and leaned over to show him. Are you going to strangle me to death just because you spoil me? Jiang Yanzhi, I know you don't like me. What a coincidence, I don't like you either. Let's part ways amicably. Bang. The door was closed and locked. Jiaojiao, who was once again on the brink of divorce, felt that her mind was full of absurdity. What's so great about a bastard man? He was going to look for a wild woman in the heavy rain, what else did she need him for? Jiaojiao went to take a shower. The sound of running water covered up all other sounds of the night until the bathroom door was suddenly opened and Jiang Yanzhi leaned against the door and looked at her. With tiny glimmers of light in his eyes covering her body, Jiang Yanzhi asked, Are you jealous? So you want to take revenge on me? Jiaojiao pulled the bath towel to wrap herself and said angrily, Who let you in? How did you get in? She clearly locked the door. Chapter 6 Dating Other Men. The man leaned against the door and lit a cigarette for himself. The blue smoke was lingering. Jiang Yanzhi half closed his eyes and looked her up and down. Walk in. Jiaojiao was so angry. Is this the fucking question I asked? Get out of my way. She wrapped the towel tightly around her, pushed him aside and rushed out. He checked the status of the door lock several times. It was a combination lock, no key required, but why did he know the combination? Change it when you get back. Jiang Yanzhi, leave quickly before I lose my temper. Jiaojiao said as she stood at the door. The door was slightly open and the wind from the corridor blew in from outside, feeling a bit sticky and hot. This midsummer weather is really unpleasant. Are you in such a hurry to get me out? Do you have a man hiding here? Jiang Yang finished her cigarette and scanned the room thoroughly. Even the kitchen was not spared. The one-bedroom apartment is, I have to say, a bit small, but damn, it feels safe. When Jiaojiao is in a bad mood, she likes to come here alone and trap herself in this small world. This is her last safe haven. What nonsense are you talking about? Jiaojiao looked at him in shock and said rudely, When did you, the dignified fourth master Jiang, become so gossipy? Who am I hiding that I need to report to you? So, you're still hiding someone. Okay, you're pretty and you have the final say. I just hid someone, you're satisfied, can you leave now? Too lazy to argue with him, Jiaojiao found a hairdryer and blew her wet long hair. Jiang Yanzhi didn't leave either. After finishing one cigarette, he lit another, and just watched her blow dry her hair. This woman seemed to be born with thorns. She was beautiful, but also prickly. It felt okay when she didn't talk back to him. But, there just happens to be one more mouth. R. Jiaojiao suddenly cried out in pain. The sound of the hairdryer stopped abruptly, and along with it, a burnt smell instantly rushed into her nose. What's wrong? Jiang Yanzhi asked as Jiaojiao frantically tore at her hair and struggled with the hairdryer. This scene is inexplicably funny. What are you still standing there for? Help me. Jiaojiao said, the ends of my hair are all tangled up. Jiang Yanzhi was at ease. Not only did he not take any action, he also watched the fun with a clear conscience. Didn't you say you wanted me to get out? You remembered me now. Jiang Yanzhi, I was right when I said you were a bastard. Her hair was pulled so hard that it hurt. Jiaojiao gritted her teeth, took out a pair of scissors from the drawer, and cut her hair off. That fierce force seemed to cut off something in the man in an instant, and Jiang Yanzhi felt a little cold between his legs. With a flicker in his eyes, Jiang Yanzhi took the hairdryer and threw it into the trash can. If you have something to say, you can talk about it in a nice way. Don't play the widowed role. Widowed? Jiaojiao gritted her teeth and looked at the trash can, becoming even angrier. Although she also wanted to throw away the hairdryer, but, it was not your turn, Jiang Yanzhi, to throw it away. Yes, you are really the worm in my stomach. I want to be widowed as soon as possible. Fourth master, can you cooperate with me? Her hair was not dried yet and the hairdryer was thrown away. Jiaojiao grabbed the towel to wipe it in annoyance. The broken hair was not cleaned up and her neck felt a little itchy. This bath was really wasted. My dear fourth master, you'd better go away. Don't stay here and be an eyesore. After saying this, Jiaojiao went to take a shower for the second time. 10 minutes later, Jiaojiao came out of the bathroom again and found that the person who should leave, he hadn't left yet. The apartment is not big, but very exquisite. All the home furnishings that Jiaojiao bought are in warm styles, even the pillows have cartoon patterns. Jiang Yanzhi just sat on her sofa with her arms and legs stretched out, hugging her cartoon pattern, and when she turned back, she looked at her as if she was an idiot. Although he didn't say anything, his meaning clearly meant that he thought she was childish. This made Jiaojiao very unhappy. Why haven't you left yet? This apartment is my own, it's my premarital property, and it has nothing to do with you. If you don't leave, I'll call the police. Without giving him any face at all, Jiaojiao insisted on driving him away. Jiang Yanzhi looked up at her. Although she was in a weak position, she exuded a strong aura. The buttons around his neck had been undone, revealing his collarbone. I felt strangely lustful. Jiaojiao looked away instantly, her heart beating a little faster. I have to admit that although this man is a scumbag, his appearance is very good. Mrs. Jiang just said that she wanted to find roundworms. Then I should stay here and try to satisfy Mrs. Jiang. Jiang Yanzhi said. The woman came out of the bathroom wrapped in a towel. The little face, steaming with heat and with a delicate red color, is very attractive. Oh. That was just now. I don't want to think about it now. Jiaojiao said calmly and turned to go to the bedroom to change clothes. Jiang Yanzhi raised his eyebrows and followed in. Jiaojiao stopped changing her clothes and said, "Get out. I want to change my clothes." "You change, I won't hinder you." Jiaojiao. Has your brain been taken over by a monster? You are the dignified fourth master Jiang. Aren't you always domineering, cold and ruthless? How come you have become a sticky candy now? All the taffy sounds good. Stinky shit is real. The kind that can't be shaken off once it's stuck. Oh. So, Mrs. Jiang, which one do you think is better, the overbearing one or the sticky one? Jiang Yanzhi walked over and suppressed her with his height advantage. His eyes boldly swept across her red lips and then looked down. Seems to see through everything. Jiaojiao took a step back and turned her head away. Thinking of that night at the bar, he did, very quickly. However, the time is also quite short. Fourth master, you'd better go. I'm not really interested in some of your abilities. Jiaojiao paused, glanced down for a moment, and stretched out her hand to push people out. Jiang Yanzhi saw all her little movements and his face turned black. He clasped her hands with one hand and held them behind her back. He pressed her into his arms and said in a hoarse voice with a chilling tone, "So, you're telling people I'm not good enough because you're not satisfied, huh?" Jiaojiao was also angry. She raised her eyes and glared at him. Do I need to tell anyone? Even if I don't tell anyone, everyone knows that you are not capable of it. The next second, Jiang Yanzhi hugged her and they both fell onto the bed. Then let's try again. I'll let you know if it works or not. Jiang Yanzhi. Jiaojiao called out. The phone suddenly rang. Jiang Yanzhi paused for a moment and walked to the living room. What's wrong? The voice is particularly gentle. Shinruoshue was drunk over there, and someone from the bar called, "Is this Mr. Jiang? Your friend is drunk, can Mr. Jiang come over to pick him up?" The sound was on speakerphone, so I could hear it clearly. Fuck. You bastard. Jiaojiao cursed and hurried to change her clothes. At this moment, her phone rang. In front of Jiang Yanzhi, Jiaojiao picked up the phone, and Qin Shincheng asked, "We agreed to win the horse race, but you lost. We agreed to sing karaoke, but you left. Jiaojiao, isn't this inappropriate?" Then Bai Xiuxiu's voice came again, "Jiaojiao, we are having a midnight snack, you should come too. Dr. Qin said that if you don't come, he won't treat you. Come quickly." Listening to the noise on the other end of the phone, Jiaojiao's mood suddenly exploded. "Okay, wait for me, I'll be there right away." I didn't notice that Jiang Yanzhi's eyes darkened. Are you so happy about dating another man? Chapter 7, Big Enemy, Fight. Jiaojiao didn't need to change the clothes she had just changed. Lily puts on the wildest makeup and wears the highest heels. Even if her hair is a little imperfect, it can't stop her from going out and having fun. Oh. When did Fourth Master become so stingy? We've said it before, you play yours, I play mine. Don't be a double-standard dog, why are you so excited? Come on, fourth master, you go quickly, I'm leaving too. Let's go together. Fiery red lips, hip-hugging miniskirt, 7-inch high heels, plus such an outstanding figure. When she walked those few steps, she was so wild and charming, so vivid and lively. Any man who sees this will have a nosebleed. Jiang Yanzhi. Not on the way. After saying this, he slammed the door and left with a grim look on his face. This woman is really sharp-tongued. After successfully driving the bad man away, Jiaojiao quickly changed the door lock password. Go downstairs, drive, and follow the navigation. Jiaojiao loves to play. From horse racing, to car racing, and even various extreme sports, she has participated in them all. Especially the famous undefeated queen here, her driving skills are naturally first class. Squeak! Not long after, a red sports car came rushing over with great momentum. When it got close, it did a beautiful drift and stopped at a roadside barbecue stall. Jiao, why are you so late? Bai Wanwan handed her a skewer, and Jiaojiao picked it up generously and put it to her mouth. It's still that scumbag. I don't know why he went crazy tonight. He stared at me from the horse farm, and he wouldn't let me sing karaoke, and I just got rid of him. She took off her sunglasses and let her long hair out. She looked so wild and charming and instantly became the center of attention. However, only a few familiar people were there for this midnight snack. The rest of the people had left and went home to rest. Oh, it's the fourth master. So you mean that the fourth master has been clinging to you and controlling you? Bai Xiuxiu was very interested. She was even more excited than her, the wife of the first house. Come on, tell me quickly. Have you taken this opportunity to completely take down the fourth master? Bai Xiuxiu asked excitedly. Before Jiaojiao could swallow the meat in her mouth, Qin Shencheng picked up the peanuts on the table and threw them at her. There are so many dramas, and you still worry about other people's married life. Puff! Jiaojiao burst into tears. Bai Xiuxiu was angry. Qin, you are asking for a beating. Why did you throw me? What are you not doing? Qin Shencheng glanced at Jiaojiao, raised his hand and pushed his glasses on the bridge of his nose, and asked with a smile, are you unhappy getting along with each other? You know this too? Jiaojiao asked, how did you figure that out? Yuan sat aside with a strange look on her face. She looked at this one, then looked at that one, and felt that her circle of 3 people, she couldn't quite fit in. But she really liked Qin Shencheng, so she didn't say anything. A smart woman will not interrupt a man at this time. I guessed. If you were happy, you wouldn't complain as soon as you got here. Qin Shencheng gave her a glass of beer. Want some? Okay. Jiaojiao is very straightforward. Several people had a very enjoyable midnight snack. Jiang Yanzhi went to the bar and Shenruoshua was already drunk. If the bar waiter hadn't made this call, Shenruoshua might have been picked up by another man. Mr. Jiang, this is your friend's cell phone. The waiter handed Shenruoshua's phone to her, and Jiang Yanzhi thanked her. Ruoshua, you are drunk. I will take you home. Walking forward, Jiang Yanzhi told Shenruoshua. Shenruoshua was drunk and blurry. She looked at the man in front of her, and aggrieved immediately came up. Brother Yanzhi, you came to pick me up. You still like me, right? Woo woo woo, 4 years ago, I didn't mean to leave you. It was your mother who found me. Jiang Yanzhi sat aside and looked at her quietly. Some of the likes of young people are based on impulse, and some are based on senses. 4 years ago, Jiang Yanzhi had a good impression of Shenruoshua, a third-tier star who had just debuted. Shenruoshua is a kind person and is gentle when dealing with others. Jiang Yanzhi looked for Shenruoshua twice when she was in a bad mood. As time went by, photos of the two of them together were taken by reporters and later made headlines. The gossip broke out instantly. It was said that Shenruoshua, who was designed to be a beautiful lady at that time, had her financial backer from Mr. Jiang Yanzhi, the fourth master of the famous city of Haining. There was even a rumor that Shenruoshua was Jiang Yanzhi's secret girlfriend. At that time, Jiang Yanzhi really had some feelings for Shenruoshua and did not clarify it. Shenruoshua's public relations also said a few ambiguous words. The relationship between the two of them was strangely determined. Later, the rumors about the two of them became more and more intense, and even when it was said that Shenruoshua was pregnant with fourth master Jiang's child, Su Wanrong became angry. Jiang Yanzhi, the son of a bitch, was called back and scolded harshly. Jiang Group then issued a written statement. Shinruoshua had disappeared completely until now. Jiang Yanzhi recalled everything that had happened in the past, raised his hand and pressed his brows. What did my mother say to you back then? After drinking glass after glass of wine, Jiaojiao felt extremely refreshed. At the end of drinking, he simply found a rubber band, tied his hair up, and started playing drinking guessing games on the spot in a wild and fierce manner. Oh, this little beauty is pretty, she's wild enough. Brother, I really envy you for having so many wives, 1 for 3, and such a big deal. What? Brother will give you some money, and let me have this little beauty. In the night filled with hormonal disturbances, someone drank a few sips of cat urine and lost track of who he was. Over here, they saw Qin Shincheng playing rock paper scissors and drinking with 3 girls. All of them were very pretty. These people made eye contact and immediately surrounded them, talking in a nonchalant manner. They were sure that Qin Shincheng, a man alone, would suffer a loss and would not be able to win. Jiaojiao had bad luck tonight and always lost. At this moment, I heard someone coming forward, so I turned my head to look, and saw it was a greasy man with dyed yellow hair. You're already this old, and you're only now ending up like this? Hey! Beauty, why are you looking at me like that? Are you attracted to me? Tell me, how much money do you want? I'll pay for it. When the yellow-haired man saw Jiaojiao looking at him, he immediately came over and said. The explicit gaze fell on Jiaojiao's body and legs. It seemed as if he was going to fuck the woman. Qin Shincheng's face darkened, and just as he was about to speak, Jiaojiao hooked her finger at him. Jar Jar, are you rich? Yes, yes, yes. I have plenty of money. Tell me, how much do you want? The yellow-haired man immediately puffed out his chest and said proudly, you can have as much as you want. I can afford it. Really? Jiaojiao raised her eyebrows, a hint of viciousness flashing in her drunken eyes. Bai Xiuxiu took a step back, obviously watching the fun. Brother Qin, is Miss Jiu intentionally provoking him? Yuan said in a low voice. In fact, she had long been dissatisfied with Jiaojiao's wildness. Can't we just be nice? Why do we have to provoke them? Qin Shincheng looked unhappy and glanced at her. Stand away. Provoke? That's true. I want 1 billion yuan, can you afford it? Jiaojiao reported the number. The smile on the yellow-haired man's face froze, and then he became furious. You stinky cousin, you are looking for death. 1 billion. He is not a villain, this bitch is obviously making fun of him. Bang. One punch was not enough, so Jiaojiao picked up a wine bottle and their whole barbecue stall was in chaos. A black Bentley drove in the night. Jiang Yang felt something in her heart and turned her head to look. Among the group of people fighting, there was a nimble little figure who was extremely eye-catching. Chapter 8, Playing Wild and Learning to Fight. Stop it. If someone dies, stop it. The stall owner came over to stop them and asked, do you need to call the police? Bai Xiuxiu clicked her tongue and found it quite interesting. Boss, do you still need to ask us whether to call the police or not? We have to ask. If the customers don't plan to call the police, they don't have to. The boss said calmly, having gained experience from running a shop. In the middle of summer, it's normal for people to be irritable and have fights. The boss doesn't want to cause trouble if it can be resolved privately. Call the police. Yuan interrupted, her eyes fixed on the yellow-haired man whose head was already bleeding. Don't let anyone get killed, or your store will be ruined. What are you talking about? Who do you think you are? What do you have to do with this? Bai Xiuxiu's face changed. Mind your own business. Even if our Jiaojiao is fighting, she knows what's going on. It's not your turn to meddle in other people's business. Yuan opened her mouth, also a little unhappy, but how can we have a meal after such a big fuss? Don't forget, who treated us to this meal today? Oh. I was wondering what it meant. It turns out that you are relying on the power of Dr. Qin and are afraid that our Jiaojiao will bring trouble to you. Bai Xiuxiu finally understood. Okay, don't feel bad about the money. I'll pay for this midnight snack. It also saves some people from feeling bad. I no longer like this woman. With this situation, he is not worthy of Dr. Qin. Yuan's pain point was touched, and her expression changed. That's not what I meant, I mean. Bai Xiuxiu didn't bother to pay attention to her and said to her boss, "Listen to me, no need to call the police." The boss was also a smart man. He immediately knew who to listen to in this matter. "Okay, then remember to compensate me for the losses later." He pointed to the empty tables around him and said, "You guys have to pay for their bills." When the fight broke out, all the customers ran away, and someone had to get hurt because of the loss. "Okay." Bai Xiuxiu agreed. Qin Shincheng didn't hear the conflict between the two women. He was protecting Jiaojiao all the time. She could hit him as much as she wanted, and just leave her back to him. Someone took advantage of this opportunity to do something bad to Jiaojiao, but was kicked away by Qin Shincheng. Jiaojiao threw away the half-empty bottle of wine in her hand, turned around and smiled. "Thanks, Lao Qin." "You're welcome." Qin Shincheng said, looking at the time again. "That's enough, don't let anyone get killed." "No." Jiaojiao replied, raised her foot and kicked the yellow-haired man again, sneering, "Look at my face and remember it well. My last name is Jiaojiao. The wildest young lady in the whole Haining City is not only protective of her own people, but also very tolerant. So, are you so bold as to mess with her?" The yellow-haired man covered his wounded head with his hands, and peed himself on the spot in fear. He kept saying, "Yes, I'm sorry, I'll leave now, I'll leave now." He called a few of his younger brothers and was about to leave. "Wait a minute." Bai Xiuxiu rushed over and said with a dark face, "So many tables and chairs were knocked over, and several tables of customers who hadn't paid their bills also ran away. Someone should compensate for this loss." Jiaojiao didn't say anything, she just raised her chin towards the yellow-haired man. The yellow-haired man scanned the code and transferred the money swiftly, no more, no less. Only then was he let go by Jiaojiao. "Jiaoer, although you are good at fighting, but don't do it next time." Bai Xiuxiu looked at her, a little worried. "What if you make a mistake?" He stared at her hair again. "Why is it so short? What happened to your hair?" "Well, it's okay. I cut it myself." Jiaojiao neatly recombed her hair and tied it into a high ponytail. She then called Qin Shincheng and Yuan, "Come on, continue eating. Someone paid for this meal. It won't be in vain if you don't eat it. It looks really wild. I don't want to eat anymore. I'm full. Let's go back." Bai Xiuxiu glanced at Yuan, feeling unhappy. He was about to call the police just now, but the next moment he sat down and enjoyed his meal again. These little thoughts and calculations are clearly laid out. "Xiuxiu, you're full after only eating half of it?" Qin Shincheng asked, taking the skewers that had just been served and putting a handful on the plates in front of her and Jiaojiao. Yuan's face turned ugly, but she held back and said nothing. Bai Xiuxiu shook her head. "I'm full, I don't want to eat anymore." After pulling Jiaojiao away, Qin Shincheng called out to her twice to stop her. Just as he was about to chase after her, Yuan stopped him. "Brother Achin, don't go. Sister Xiuxiu is here. It's okay." Qin Shincheng pursed his lips, his eyes fell on her face, and let her go. "Tell me, what happened just now?" Halfway through the journey, Bai Xiuxiu couldn't hold back anymore. "Jiaojiao, stay away from that girl called Yuan. I think she has a problem with you." "What's wrong?" Bai Xiuxiu told the story again, and finally said, "She is scheming and calculating. Moreover, she is short-sighted. I really don't know why Dr. Qin found such a girlfriend." Jiaojiao knew what was going on, patted her on the shoulder and said, "Okay, I get it. Different people have different tastes, this is normal. Besides, Qin Shincheng is only good to the two of us, so it's normal for her to be jealous as a girlfriend. This can also be considered a little romance." "Is that so?" Bai Xiuxiu felt that there should be more to it than just that. The two walked out and were about to get in the car when a beam of headlights suddenly shone over. Jiaojiao raised her hand to block her eyes and cursed softly. "Who is it?" "You're crazy. The car lights were so bright that I couldn't see anything. After a few seconds, I could barely see through my fingers that someone got out of the car opposite, a pair of straight long legs wrapped in black trousers, so handsome." "Jiaojiao, it's the fourth master." Bai Xiuxiu saw who it was and quickly pulled Jiaojiao. Jiaojiao also saw Jiang Yanzhi's face clearly at this moment, and she immediately let out a sigh and put down her hands that were blocking her eyes. "Not handsome at all, not handsome at all." Fourth master, where did you just come from? How could it be such a coincidence? Jiaojiao asked, full of wildness, not paying any attention to anyone. Jiang Yanzhi frowned and glanced at her after the fight. The woman had her hair tied up again, her dress was a little wrinkled, and her shoes were still there, but they were obviously dirty. I feel a little blocked in my heart. Jiaojiao, you really opened my eyes. You even learned how to fight. The scene just now was really exciting. If he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, he would have thought he was seeing things. Fourth master, you are mistaken. We are just having a meal. How could there be a fight? Jiaojiao lied with her eyes open and pulled by Xiuxiu. Come on, I will take you back. Bang. Jiang Yanzhi held the open car door and said, You're still driving after drinking? Do you know the rules? Jiaojiao exhaled, and suddenly became a little irritated. Jiang Yanzhi, are you done yet? You care whether I drink or drive? Do you care about me? Lialia's red lips, reeking of alcohol, moved closer to him. As she got closer, she couldn't smell much of the man's scent, but was choked by the smell of alcohol on her body. Jiaojiao wanted to vomit, so she slapped him away. Get lost, a good dog doesn't block the road. What she meant was to push him away and vomit on the side of the road. But Jiang Yanzhi did not dodge. A fire was raging in his heart, and he raised his hand to hold her slender arm, and said coldly, Dog. Then what are you? Did you marry a dog? Puff. Bai Xiuxiu couldn't help laughing at the side, and then covered her mouth with her hands. Sorry, I didn't see or hear anything. You guys continue teaching. Keep going. Jiang Yanzhi took a breath and called someone to come and drive the car. He grabbed Jiaojiao and threw her into the red sports car. His dark eyes were cold and looked like he wanted to eat someone. I'll take her back, you guys do whatever you want. Chapter 9, Drunks Fight and Kick Off the Bed. Jiaojiao became a drunkard. In this state, she obviously couldn't go back to the Jiang family. After thinking about it, Jiang Yanzhi took her to the apartment again. When entering the door, no matter how many times she pressed the password, it was incorrect. Jiang Yanzhi suppressed her anger and told herself to stay calm. Then, he held the drunkard and asked patiently, Jiaojiao, did you change your password? What is it? Jiaojiao drank a lot of wine. When she came back, the sports car was driving very fast, and the night wind made her even more drunk. I'm really drunk now. Hearing Jiang Yanzhi's question, she widened her beautiful eyes and said, That bastard Jiang Yanzhi dared to steal my password, so I changed it. Dog thing Jiang Yanzhi. Tolerate. What has it been changed to? Then he asked another question. R12346789. Just, a password of this level. Jiang Yanzhi entered the password expressionlessly, but it said it was wrong. Veins bulged on his forehead, and he really didn't want to bother with this drunkard, but he was not angry. There's nothing to be angry about with a drunkard. Ask patiently again, the password is wrong, did you remember it wrong? I'm not mistaken. Jiaojiao chuckled. The more she looked at the man in front of her, the more he looked like that bastard Jiang Yanzhi. She muttered, he's so handsome, why does he look like that bastard? Okay. Very good. Once again, I called him a bastard. Password. Jiang Yanzhi's fists were almost stiff. R12346789. Even though he was drunk, he still remembered the password clearly. Jiang Yanzhi. The face is darker. He refused to admit that he had misheard, and then he lost an extra 5. This time, he unlocked the door quickly, helped the drunkard in, and threw her on the sofa. You don't have any alcoholic manners, and you're still drunk like this. I'll pour you a glass of water to sober you up. Smelling the alcohol on his body, Jiang Yanzhi found a cup and took the water. Jiaojiao stared at his face. The more she looked at him, the more he looked like that bastard. Suddenly she got angry again, cursing, I can see a bastard even when I'm drinking. Oh, get out of the way, I want to vomit when I see you. Wow. Without pushing the person away, he opened his mouth and spit on the man who had just squatted down. Jiang Yanzhi was stunned. He slowly lowered his head and stared with his eyes wide open at the vomit on his clothes on his chest, the smell was so disgusting. Jiao. Jiao. With an extremely angry roar, Jiang Yanzhi staggered to the restroom, then rushed to the bathroom angrily, wishing he could strangle that damn woman to death. Jiaojiao didn't know what good thing she had done. After vomiting, she felt much better in her stomach. So, Jiang Yanzhi's face is an emetic. It's disgusting to watch. I felt happy after vomiting. My body fell back limply and I fell asleep on the sofa. In a daze, she heard the phone ringing, and she picked it up randomly. Who is it? Calling my soul in the middle of the night, can't you let me have a good rest? Shinruoshua has been sent back to their hotel. She was not really drunk. When Jiang Yanzhi went to the bar to pick her up, she was very, very happy. But unexpectedly, he was abandoned halfway. What she didn't expect was that Jiang Yanzhi didn't even bother to see her off. Instead, he called someone over to take her back to their hotel. Shinruoshua looked at everything that had been prepared in the hotel room and was so angry that her teeth were itching. Such a great opportunity has been ruined again. Otherwise, Brother Yanzhi should be in her bed now. Who are you? Where is Brother Yanzhi? I have something to talk to him about. Shinruoshua recognized Jiaojiao's voice the first time, and her heart ached even more. But she has always been smart, and even if she feels jealous, she will not really fight with Jiaojiao without caring about her dignity. Still maintaining the image of a pure and innocent lady. After all, he is just a third-tier star, so he does have some acting skills. Why are you looking for a brother? There is only a sister here, no brother. Jiaojiao said casually. Jiang Yanzhi just came out of the bathroom and did not see Jiaojiao answer his call. This woman reeked of alcohol, and she didn't even bother to clean herself up, and just lay there and fell asleep. Pretty sloppy. Jiaojiao, get up, take a shower and go to sleep. He had a sullen face and spoke condescendingly, his dark eyes filled with coldness. But the woman on the sofa just opened her eyes, her gaze seemed to sweep over him, but also seemed not to sweep over him, and she murmured, Brother Yanzhi. She had called him that a long, long time ago. But when I grew up, I stopped calling him that. Later, she finally married him with a marriage contract, but the relationship between them became more and more distant. They don't look like husband and wife, but more like enemies. Jiang Yanzhi, who was wiping her hair with a towel, slowly stopped. He pursed his lips and looked down at her. A drunk woman is actually very beautiful. When awake, she is flamboyant and bright, as if she can make people vomit blood at any time. When asleep, he is as quiet as an angel and very well behaved. Well, it looks good, but it has an extra mouth. After standing beside her and watching her for a while, Jiang Yanzhi slowly said, drunkard. Their voice softened a little. After her hair was dry, Jiang Yanzhi resigned herself to carrying her to the bathroom, running the water, and letting her take a shower. After that, he carried her back to bed and covered her with a quilt. During this period, he kept on calling. Shinruoshua listened to the whole thing and felt almost unable to breathe. Danger, danger. It was clearly agreed that it was just a secret marriage. Why does this secret marriage seem not so simple? No. Brother Yanzhi is hers, she must get him back no matter what. After a good night's sleep, the two did not wake up until 9 o'clock in the morning. As soon as Jiaojiao opened her eyes, her drunken memories came back to her. She turned over and sat up. She turned around and saw Jiang Yanzhi sleeping on the side. She gritted her teeth and kicked him to the ground. Jiang Yanzhi, you are shameless. You took advantage of me when I was drunk, didn't you? Jiang Yanzhi. After tossing and turning for most of the night, I finally got a good night's sleep. Was he kicked down just like that? The key is, where the hell are you kicking? Jiaojiao. Your kindness is taken for granted. Do you really want to be a widow? Jiang Yanzhi covered the part of her body that was more easily excited in the morning, and she felt like exploding in pain. All men understand. Every morning, it is necessary to stand up and walk. This is a normal phenomenon. As a result, after being kicked by Jiaojiao, I feel like there is no future. What's the point of being a widower? I hope you die soon so I can go find some young hunk. Jiaojiao chuckled, jumped off the bed, and found that she had changed her clothes. Suddenly another one got angry. You take off my clothes. Isn't that normal? You've become a drunkard, and if I don't take off your clothes for you, who do you want to take off your clothes for you? It's not like you haven't seen it before. Jiang Yanzhi stood up holding her waist, planning to have someone bring her some clothes. As a result, I searched for the phone for a long time before I found it in the crack of the sofa. The call was not hung up all night, and Shen Ruoshua was waiting on the other end of the line. Jiang Yanzhi's eyes darkened. Turning his head to look towards the bedroom, what a good Jiaojiao, is this intentional? Brother Yanzhi, is that you? A hoarse voice came from the other side, and Shen Ruoshua's words were filled with tears. Brother Yanzhi, I fell down and bled a lot. I'm so scared. Chapter 10. I treat you as a brother, but you want to be my husband. Shen Ruoshua's voice is very recognizable, the kind of voice that is obviously aggrieved, but very forbearing and sensible, soft as water. Brother Yanzhi, are you still listening? I hurt my foot and can't walk. Shen Ruoshua held the phone in one hand and looked at her ankle, which she had sprained on purpose, with the other, tears falling from her eyes. Although Brother Yanzhi was not around, she still had to put on a good show. Brother Yanzhi. She cried out again, feeling both pain and grievance. Jiang Yanzhi stood up, holding the phone in his hand. Okay, I get it. I'll be there right away. After hanging up the call, Jiang Yanzhi immediately asked someone to send clothes over. 10 minutes later, the clothes were delivered. After spending a few more minutes getting dressed, Jiang Yanzhi looked back at the bedroom door, then turned and left. Jiaojiao was leaning on the bed, watching videos on her phone. When she heard Jiang Yanzhi leave, she threw her phone away, jumped off the bed, and immediately changed the door lock password. Oh! You bastard, get out of here! Bang! After slamming the door shut with great force, Jiaojiao turned around and went to the bathroom to take a shower. After sleeping in the same bed with Jiang Yanzhi that night, she felt like she had grown hair all over her body. Maybe she was allergic. Jiaojiao, are you awake? Bai Xiuxiu called, and she was excited just by hearing it. Jiao, it was the fourth master who took you home last night. Did anything happen between the two of you, a man and a woman? Jiaojiao came out of the bathroom, wiping her hair, and threw herself on the soft sofa. She said unhappily, you are really my good sister. I was drunk, and you let him take me away. What can I do? He is your other half listed in your household registration book. You are together legally, okay? Besides, your fourth master is so powerful, I'm afraid he will beat me. Bai Xiuxiu shouted, unconvinced, refusing to admit that she was a little cowardly at the time. She really couldn't afford to offend the fourth master, and it wasn't just a pretense. Jiaojiao was led to smile by her. Okay, I don't blame you. Sure, the racing car I ordered has arrived. Can you come out for dinner later and then accompany me to pick up the car? Jiaojiao loves to play. Not only does he play wildly, he also plays well in all aspects. For example, in racing, she is not only a racing driver, but also a boss. In order to have fun, she also spent a huge amount of money to establish her own racing club. Okay, then I'll call Dr. Qin. He's taking a rest these 2 days, so let's play together. Bai Xiuxiu said, then hung up the phone and went to call Qin Shengcheng. At 11 o'clock, Jiaojiao had already booked a private room at the largest seafood restaurant in Haining City. Soon, Qin Shengcheng and Bai Xiuxiu also arrived. Eh? Lao Qin, why didn't you bring your girlfriend? Jiaojiao asked in surprise. Qin Shengcheng pulled out a chair and sat down. We broke up. Divided. Now it was Bai Xiuxiu's turn to be shocked, and she quickly asked, tell me, why did you break up? We broke up because our personalities don't match. Qin Shengcheng said, turning his gaze to Jiaojiao, what do you want to eat? Have you ordered? Not yet. Just as Jiaojiao finished speaking, the door of the private room opened, and Yuan rushed in from outside with red eyes from crying, and knelt down in front of Jiaojiao with a plop. I'm sorry, Miss Jiu, I apologize to you, I was wrong, I was jealous of you, I'm sorry for you. I beg you, please don't let me break up with Achin, okay? I really love him, without him, I will die. Miss Jiu, I beg you, please make us happy. One head bowed. Another head kowtowed. Yuan knocked her head very hard and soon bruises appeared on her head. Because the door of the private room was open, guests passing by stopped in shock and looked at the scene in disbelief. Are you guys filming a movie? Jiaojiao suddenly came back to her senses. What the hell is this filming? Yuan, what are you doing? Get up first. Bai Xiuxiu reacted very quickly and immediately closed the door of the private room. Qin Shengcheng's face turned cold, he stood up and walked over, pulling Yuan Yuan up, so Yuan Yuan. I have already told you very clearly about the breakup. The two of us are just incompatible. This has nothing to do with Jiaojiao, you don't have to come here to deliberately make things difficult for us. He opened the door of the private room and pushed her out. Go away. Let's part ways in peace and not make both of us unhappy. I won't leave. I won't leave. Yuan Yuan tightly grasped the doorframe of the private room and cried heartbreakingly, Achin, what did I do wrong? Can't I change? I beg you not to break up, okay? You like Miss Jiu, I know. If you don't let me say it, can't I just not say it anymore in the future? I love you, I really love you, I don't want to break up with you, woo woo. What nonsense are you talking about? Qin Shincheng was really angry this time. He didn't even dare to turn his head. He pulled Su Yuan Yuan away with force and pushed Su Yuan Yuan out in a hurry. The door of the private room was closed. Qin Shincheng took a deep breath, raised his hand to take off his glasses, and slowly wiped them. Tell me, who taught you? Dr. Qin, wearing glasses, has only one characteristic, saving lives and healing the wounded. Qin Shincheng, without his glasses, looked cold, resolute and cruel. Su Yuan Yuan's heart skipped a beat, and she couldn't cry anymore. She was a little scared. No one. She stammered. The crowd gathered around again. Qin Shincheng was impatient to be watched like a monkey, so he put his glasses back on, pulled Su Yuan Yuan's arm, found an empty private room, and stuffed him in. Let's talk slowly. At this time, Jiaojiao was also shocked. After a long while, he came back to his senses, blinked, and said to Bai Xiuxiu, Sure, did I hear it wrong just now? What did that woman say? Bai Xiuxiu. How the hell do I know what to say? I'm also confused, okay? After struggling for a while, he asked tentatively, So, Dr. Qin really has feelings for you? Bullshit. Jiaojiao also got angry. We grew up together. We've seen each other wear open crotch pants and even wet our pants. If he really had feelings for me, wouldn't he have confessed 800 years ago? Why would he have to wait until now? Besides, even if he dared to have such thoughts, I would beat his head off and make him give up those thoughts immediately. This is terrible, okay? It turns out that she has always treated him as a brother, but he wants to be her husband. And then on their wedding night, they would have a fight and pee their pants at the same time. Go to hell. The scene was so beautiful that she dared not look at it. Somehow, what happened here reached Jiang Yanzhi's ears in a very short time. Har ha har ha. Fourth master, I'm going to tell you a very nice joke, do you want to hear it? It's about that Dr. Qin, you know him, right? The great doctor with amazing medical skills. I heard that he has a crush on our Madame Jiang. Chapter 11, Big Enemy, I heard you like me. Jiang Yanzhi hung up the phone with a cold face, obviously unhappy. Shenruoshue's foot was severely swollen, and there was a cut on the sole of her foot, which was bleeding. The wound also looked quite deep, probably caused by a sharp weapon. Shenruoshue was in so much pain that sweat kept coming out of her forehead. The man behind her supported her with his brows tightly furrowed. Shenruoshue almost fell into the man's arms, not daring to look at her wounds. Jiang Yanzhi held her arm and asked the doctor, what caused it? Is the injury serious? As the doctor examined her, he said, you should ask this lady what caused this, maybe she sprained her ankle and then accidentally touched something, causing a scratch on her foot. But there's no foreign matter in the wound, so we're lucky. Jiang Yanzhi lowered his head to look at Shenruoshue. Shenruoshue's face was pale, but she said firmly, it's my fault. I just wanted to eat an apple, but I accidentally dropped the fruit knife, and it stabbed my foot. The doctor pressed gently for her and wiped it with iodine. Shenruoshue gasped in pain again. Jiang Yanzhi said, you are not fit to live alone in this state. Shenruoshue was stunned, then where do I live? I called your family. You should be back soon. I'll find a caregiver for you. You should stay still for the next few days. Jiang Yanzhi has always been vigorous and decisive in doing things. They said they were looking for a caregiver, and soon one was found. Shenruoshue opened her mouth, and the words of refusal were on the tip of her tongue, but she couldn't say them. Jiang Yanzhi doesn't like his decisions being questioned, so this is the only way. Thinking of this, Shenruoshue nodded happily, okay, then I'll listen to you. After the doctor bandaged the wound, the nurse pushed a brand new wheelchair over, and Jiang Yanzhi carried the man on it. Shinruoshua rubbed the man's neck intentionally or unintentionally, and said obediently, "Brother Yanzhi, can you pack the things I left at the hotel and send them to my house? I'll ask someone to pack it and send it to you." "No, I don't like others touching my things." Shinruoshua's eyes were obviously disappointed. Jiang Yanzhi looked at her. "I am someone else too." "You're not." Shinruoshua said, "There are my personal belongings in the hotel, and the carpet is stained with blood. I don't want the paparazzi to see it. Brother Yanzhi, please help me again this time." A woman's weapons, besides tears and her body, also include the ability to overcome hardness with softness and to retreat in order to advance, which is also innate. Especially since Shinruoshua hasn't been in China in recent years, she was once a third-tier celebrity after all. If someone were to dig up some information, they could dig out some information. Jiang Yanzhi hesitated for a moment, then nodded and agreed, "Okay." The yellow-haired man who passed by grabbed his phone and said viciously, "It's just Haining City. What's so great about it? Send me the video. I will never let this kind of scumbag who is a mistress and steals other people's boyfriends go." The yellow-haired man has gauze wrapped around his head. He is here today to change the medicine on his head. Jiang Yanzhi paused. "Wait a moment." The yellow-haired man stopped and his eyes suddenly lit up. "Fourth Master." Then he became very excited. "Fourth Master, what a coincidence, you are also in the hospital." "Fourth Master, who are you calling me? Who doesn't he know the famous Fourth Master Jiang of Haining City?" The yellow-haired man was a little nervous, but he was excited inside. If he caught the Fourth Master's eye, wouldn't he be able to ride on the wind and rise to great heights in the future? Jiang Yanzhi said, "Who is that scumbag Haining from the Jiu family in Haining City that you just mentioned?" Fourth Master, you're asking about this. Who else could it be? Isn't the wildest woman in the entire Haining City the unruly and headstrong eldest daughter of the Jiu family? I tell you, Fourth Master, this Miss Jiu is not only wild, but she also has a lot of fun. Who knows which idiot will marry her in the future? She's bound to be a big shot and get cheated on. The yellow-haired man said immediately. Facing the Fourth Master's questioning, he told everything he knew without hiding anything. Jiang Yanzhi. Thank you, that bastard is me. There was no sign of it on his face. The yellow-haired man had no idea that the Fourth Master was being taken advantage of, and he was still adding fuel to the fire. Just now at the Seafood City, someone filmed Miss Jiu snatching someone's boyfriend on the spot. Shit. This is going to happen. If I expose this kind of thing, I will. I must let her have a good show, so that I can avenge my hatred. The yellow-haired man had a cut on his head. He spent money and suffered pain, and the more he thought about it, the more he felt helpless. What happened to the young lady? Why can't he be provoked? He just wanted to provoke her today. No need to expose it. I've bought the video. Jiang Yanzhi said with a gloomy face as he transferred money to the yellow-haired man. Although the yellow-haired man didn't know why the Fourth Master cared about these things, he still obediently transferred the video. Jiang Yanzhi looked at his phone and said, "Give me your phone too." He would not allow anyone to have this video evidence on their mobile phone. The yellow-haired man was stunned for a moment. "Fourth Master, this. Also, the other party is your friend. You'd better ask him to get rid of his phone. Otherwise, if I see any negative opinions about Miss Jiu on the internet, you know my methods. Pull out the card and smash the phone." A systematic action, handled extremely coldly. Yellow-haired man. This is his cell phone. Fourth Master, let's go. In front of outsiders, Shinruoshua has always been very sensible and no longer calls Yanzhi brother. After the group of people left, the yellow-haired man almost sat down on the ground because his legs went weak. Finished. He seemed to know some great secret. We have to contact the other party quickly, find a way to trick the phone out of our hands, and then get rid of it. Seafood City. Qin Shincheng came out of the private room, and the coldness on his face had returned to a gentleness like a spring breeze. He glanced at the crowd watching the fun and said, "I'm sorry to have made a fool of myself. Also, I hope that all the gentlemen and ladies can delete the videos on your phones, or let my Qin family come and ask you to delete them one by one." Haining City, Qin family. Although they are not as powerful as the Jiang family and the Jiu family, they are also someone that cannot be provoked. One river, two visits to the three Qins. Notoriously difficult to mess with. Oh my god, he is actually a member of the Qin family. What about this video? Someone exclaimed, already feeling uneasy. Some people didn't even bother to ask and quickly cleared the videos on their mobile phones, and repeatedly apologized to Qin Shincheng. Qin Shincheng nodded, thank you, everyone. When we go downstairs later, everyone present will receive a seafood gift package. After saying that, he turned and went into another private room. Jiaojiao asked, have you dealt with your girlfriend? Qin Shincheng pinched his brows and said, stop making trouble. We've broken up. She's not my girlfriend anymore. Oh, we really broke up. Jiaojiao felt that this matter was a bit difficult to handle. I heard that you like me. Puff. Chapter 12. I'm thinking about that wild man again. Qin. Shin. Cheng. Jiaojiao gnashed her teeth in anger. Your aim is quite accurate. You must be aiming specifically at me. No. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. But, I just drank a sip of water. Who asked you to tease me? Qin Shincheng looked at Jiaojiao opposite her, whose head and face were covered with water stains from the water he sprayed. He suppressed the laughter in his heart and quickly took a tissue to help her wipe it. Jiaojiao was about to explode. Who teased you? I am telling the truth. Pfut, cough, but it's really not true. Qin Shincheng tried hard to save face. Bai Xiuxiu, who had come to her senses, also burst into laughter. Har, you two are really enemies. Now I believe what Jiaojiao said. If you two were together, how lively would this house be? It would be a mess all day long, and we wouldn't have to hire an acrobatic troupe. Just shut up. Jiaojiao said with a dark face, I need to pick up the car later. How can I go like this? Just go like this. Qin Shincheng couldn't help but laugh, so he raised his hands in surrender, admitting his mistake. How about this? To express my apology, I'll give you your car. Consider it my compensation to you, okay? What the hell? Do I need that money? Jiaojiao glared at him, went out to wash her face, and when she came back, she was in no mood to eat. Let's go. It's almost time to pick up the car. This time, Jiaojiao ordered a Formula 1 racing car. Such a race car not only excited the racers, even Bai Xiuxiu, who didn't know much about cars, was delighted and rubbed her hands together, wanting to try. Jiao, how much does this car cost? Jiaojiao looked at her lover and liked him very much. 60 million, please. She didn't know the exact amount, but anyway, buy it if you like it, it's not like she can't afford it. Well done. Qin Shincheng silently counted his own private money. Jiaojiao, I just said that I will pay for this. 60 million, I will transfer it to your account later. Really? Jiaojiao turned her head and squinted at him. Although I have always disdained to do such a rubbish as to pit my childhood sweetheart, but if you ask so strongly, it is not impossible for me to fulfill your wish. Qin Shincheng choked, actually, it's not that strong. Jiaojiao chased Qin Shincheng and started fighting. Bai Xiuxiu took the opportunity to jump into the new car, then looked around and started the car quietly. Boom! The accelerator was pressed to the bottom and the car shot out like an arrow. This fucking speed is too fast. Bai Xiuxiu was confused. Bai Xiuxiu screamed, help. Step on the brakes. Seeing this, Jiaojiao yelled in panic, quickly left Qin Shincheng behind, turned around and rushed towards Bai Xiuxiu. The car was on the verge of losing control and was going very fast. Bai Xiuxiu was obviously frightened and her mind was a mess. In her mind, she heard Jiaojiao say to step on the brakes, and then she forgot where the brakes were. Fortunately, the steering wheel was still under control, and the car was spinning madly in place. As it was spinning, Jiaojiao was no longer anxious, and Qin Shincheng no longer looked pale. The two looked at each other and gritted their teeth. Qin Shincheng asked, looking at the situation, when can we stop? Maybe they ran out of gas. Then why don't we stop it? How to stop it? The car is going so fast, do you want to die young? Jiaojiao rolled her eyes and Qin Shincheng remained silent. He is under a dark cloud today and has a bad luck. When having a meal, I was disturbed by my ex-girlfriend when buying a car. I met someone like Bai Xiuxiu. By the way, he didn't want to pay the 60 million for the car at the moment. Jiaojiao was also tired, so she squatted on the ground and drew circles. The two of them waited quietly for the car to run wild enough and stop automatically. The result was that the panicked Jiaojiao finally calmed down, stepped on the brakes, and the car that was spinning at high speed stopped. Jiaojiao got out of the car weakly and cried loudly, "Jiaojiao, I was wrong. I will never drive again." Her driving skills are poor and she can't control this thing at all. Jiaojiao hugged her and coaxed her, "Be good, it's okay, I will teach you in person later. A good teacher will produce a good student. I guarantee that you will learn and master it." Qin Cheng interrupted, "Yes, she can still turn a circle if you don't teach her. If you teach her, others drive to make a debut, but she drives to risk her life. Will you still teach her?" Jiaojiao. Slowly turning to look at him, he grinned, "Believe it or not, I can punch you in the head. Just shut up. If you don't want your childhood sweetheart anymore, just throw it away." The two were playing and fighting, and they had no idea that this scene was also captured by someone. Then, it was quickly transmitted to Jiang Yanzhi's mobile phone. Jiang Yanzhi watched the video 3 times, finally stopping at the scene where Jiaojiao was swinging her fist to hit someone. Freeze frame. Take a closer look. Har, she is indeed a wild-minded woman who wants to put a hat on him all the time. The relationship between childhood sweethearts seems quite sweet. Call your wife and ask her to come home for dinner tonight. In the office of Jiang Group, Jiang Yanzhi flipped his phone over the table and said coldly. Special Assistant Luo Fei took note of this and asked again, "President, what if my wife doesn't reply or doesn't answer the phone?" This is very likely. After all, Mr. Jiang and Ms. Jiu are secretly married, and their relationship has always been bad. It is normal for their wife not to answer Mr. Jiang's calls and may block him in a minute. Tell her that Miss Su invited her home for dinner. Jiang Yanzhi said, pinching her brows with her hand, and said again, "The afternoon meeting will end at 5 o'clock, and the evening appointment will be cancelled." After a busy day, the 3 of them had their meal, packed up their car, and headed home. Qin Cheng had to go to surgery and had to rush back. He said goodbye to the 2 of them on the roadside and told them carefully, "Xiao, if you can't drive, don't drive, to save lives." He also told Jiaojiao, "Whenever you have a race, call me over and I'll cheer you on." "I know." Jiaojiao waved her hand at him, "Do the operation carefully, and don't worry about anything else." "Okay." The 3 of them parted ways. Jiaojiao sent Xiao home first. She looked at the time and it was 4:30 in the afternoon. She was thinking about where to go for dinner that night when she received a call from Luo Fei from Jiang Group. "Yo! The 4th master actually has time to contact her?" Jiaojiao chuckled and hung up the phone. Then, Su Wanrong called her, "Jiao, are you coming home for dinner tonight? Mommy has cooked a few dishes that you like. Can you please give me some face? My dear mother-in-law cooked, I must take this back." "Okay mom, I'll be right back." I rushed back to the Jiang family at lightning speed. As soon as the car stopped, I found a black Bentley parked next door. Jiaojiao. I instantly lost the desire to eat. Jiang Yanzhi held a cigarette between his fingers and looked at her aggressively, "Since you are back, why don't you come in? Are you thinking about that wild man? Good job. Looking for trouble as soon as you get home?" Jiaojiao said, Yes, I just thought about it. I want every wild man in the world, as long as it's not you." Chapter 13 looks powerful, but is just a fool. Jiang Yanzhi. He has always felt that he has a pretty good ability to control his emotions. Even when it comes to a contract worth hundreds of millions, he can remain calm and handle it with ease at the negotiation table. But whenever I face this woman, I can never suppress my anger. "Mrs. Jiang, are you not satisfied with your life? Why are you trying to find satisfaction in disguise?" Jiang Yanzhi followed up with this. The meaning of her words was so clear that one could understand it immediately. Jiaojiao couldn't help but kick him. "A good dog doesn't block the road, get out of here." The kick landed on my calf, causing me to feel like I was about to explode with pain. Jiang Yanzhi was sweating profusely. "Jiaojiao. You are lunatic. Thanks for the compliment." Jiaojiao walked around him, went in, changed her shoes and went to the kitchen. Su Wanrong was busy in the kitchen. When she saw Jiaojiao coming back, she immediately called out affectionately, "Jiao is back. Come on, how about trying this crispy fish dish that mom just learned?" Jiaojiao opened her mouth and took a delicious bite. Mom, it's delicious. My mom is beautiful and kind, like a fairy. I really love you more and more. Su Wanrong was so happy that she couldn't stop smiling. The servants beside them also looked very happy, and the icing on the cake also joked. If you don't know, you would think that the madam are mother and daughter. They are mother and daughter. My Jiaoer is really good in every way. But my stupid son is not worthy of Jiaojiao. Su Wanrong stepped on one hand and held the other, pulling Jiaojiao out. Okay, let's go outside to wash our hands and wait for dinner. Su Wanrong was not very good at cooking, so she specially cooked this dish today. Fortunately, her daughter-in-law gave her face and supported her, so she was happy. Mom, these are some gifts I bought for you, as well as some small things you like. Jiang Yanzhi brought over a few bags, which contained a set of the latest skincare products. There are also 2 boxes of health supplements. And a set of Jade Go. Jiaojiao looked over, her eyes fell on the set of skincare products and healthcare products, the corners of her lips slightly raised. Su Wanrong was not interested in Go, so she picked up the skincare product and looked at it. Is this a new skincare product from you group? I heard that this skincare product has just been launched overseas and is priced very high. Do you still have this channel? There is no woman in the world who does not love beauty. The same goes for Su Wanrong. She picked up the skincare product and couldn't put it down. It was obvious that she liked this one the most. Jiang Yanzhi was also satisfied. As long as my mother likes it, everything else is not a problem. Subconsciously, he glanced at Jiaojiao, and saw that she was looking at the Go with great interest. Without thinking, he asked, "You can do this?" "Won't." Jiaojiao said straightforwardly, "I just think it looks good and should be worth a lot of money." "Oh, I really misjudged you. I thought you were the eldest daughter of the Jiu family, and you were always boastful and wild, but after all this time, you can't even play Go. This is obviously looking for trouble." Jiaojiao heard it, and Su Wanrong also heard it. However, Jiaojiao did not confront him directly. Instead, she turned to Su Wanrong and glared at him aggrievedly, her eyes turning red. "Mom, look at him. Yanzhi always bullies me when you can't see him." Su Wanrong was also angry. What a good daughter-in-law, why don't you know how to cherish her? Putting the skincare products in her hand on the table, she said with a dark face, "Jiang Yanzhi, you have grown up and become thick-skinned. I can't control you anymore, right? You dare to bully Jiaojiao in front of me, how can you do it behind my back?" "That's right, Mom. He went to find a wild woman before. He even brought the wild woman to their horse farm and tried to make me angry." Jiaojiao fanned the flames. "If we don't file a complaint now, when will we?" Su Wanrong grabbed the pillow beside her and threw it over. "Jiang Yanzhi, believe it or not, I will break your legs." A clothes drying pole was handed over from the balcony. "Mom, use this, it's handy." "Jiang Yanzhi, Jiaojiao, have you had enough? Stop making trouble." "Who caused the trouble? Who caused the trouble?" Jiaojiao handed over the clothesline and ate some melon seeds from the table. "Mom, teach him a lesson. Let him go find wild women every day and let him bully me every day. If this continues. What will happen if this continues?" Before Jiaojiao could say anything, Jiang Yanzhi suddenly looked at Jiaojiao again, and that look in his eyes was so fierce. Su Wanrong's heart suddenly tightened, thinking of what Jiaojiao said about divorcing her son. She's totally unwell. He immediately grabbed the clothesline and started to hit Jiang Yanzhi. "You bastard, do you really not believe that I can break your legs? You are still mad at me, tell me. Who is that wild woman?" Jiaojiao ate 10 melon seeds and immediately added, "A little outdated star." "What?" Su Wanrong was stunned. Why did the word "little star" sound so familiar? Jiaojiao then added, "The mole on my heart, the white moonlight, the years when I sought the love of brother Yanzhi but couldn't get it. Mom, that outdated little star is called Shenruoshue, she looks so pretty with her delicate appearance." Su Wanrong's head buzzed and her face looked really ugly. "If I said that I was just cooperating with Jiaojiao in a play just now I am so angry that my heart hurts." The clothes drying pole in her hand fell to the ground. Su Wanrong sat down on the sofa with a pale face, breathing hard. Quick, my medicine." Jiaojiao frowned. Mom, are you real or just pretending? Her mother-in-law's acting is amazing. But when she held Su Wanrong's trembling hand, she immediately knew, this time it was real. Mom, stop making trouble. You listen to everything she says. Is Jiaojiao your biological daughter, or am I your biological daughter? Jiang Yanzhi was hit several times and felt a burning pain all over her body. He stood in front of the sofa with a sullen face, watching his own mother act up. The next second, Jiaojiao stood up quickly. Get out of the way. He opened the small medicine box at home as quickly as possible and accurately took out the quick-acting heart-saving pills inside. Mom, don't be afraid, I'm here. He put the medicine in his mouth and handed him the water. Jiaojiao seemed like a different person now. He was incredibly calm and composed throughout the whole process. It was only then that Jiang Yanzhi reacted. Mom, don't be afraid, we'll go to the hospital right away. Jiang Yanzhi went to drive, and Jiaojiao didn't stop him. He looked out with a gloomy face, and when his sight came back, he lowered his voice and said regretfully, Mom, it's my fault. Why did I mention her? Don't be angry, I won't mention her again in the future. Su Wanrong tightly grasped Jiaojiao's hand. After taking the medicine, her face finally looked better. Jiaojiao, promise Mom that you won't divorce Yanzhi, okay? He looks powerful, but is actually just a fool. Chapter 14. What is the point of having this face? Silly Yanzhi Jiang. He is the fourth master of Haining City. He can call the wind and rain with ease, but he just can't do anything about these two women. Mom. Jiang Yanzhi opened the car door and shouted. She was angry but could only bear it. There is nothing I can do, this is my biological mother. Mom, let's go to the hospital first, okay? We'll talk about the future later. Su Wanrong didn't even look at the brat. She grabbed Jiaojiao's hand and said, Jiao, did he hear our whisper just now? Jiaojiao. Oh, she is closer to her than her biological mother, she must be pampered. He also followed suit and whispered, probably not. He was driving just now, so he probably didn't hear it. That's good, that's good. Su Wanrong let out a long breath and hurriedly discussed with Jiaojiao, Jiao, let's not let that bastard know about the divorce we just mentioned. This is a secret between us, okay? Although that son was a little stupid and a little blind, Su Wanrong only had this one son in her life. As a mother, Su Wanrong still couldn't bear to let him go. Jiaojiao nodded vigorously, I know, Mom. Let's go to the hospital now. Seeing that Jiang Yanzhi had parked the car outside the door and was about to come in, Jiaojiao hurriedly helped Su Wanrong out. After Qin Shincheng was busy for most of the day, he finally got the test results. Then, with a dark face, he called Jiaojiao and Jiang Yanzhi over and said a little irritably, Hey, you two, can you not make trouble for me at this late hour? Auntie has low blood sugar, don't you know? Just because of hypoglycemia, I had all the tests done. Now, except for low blood sugar, everything else about Su Wanrong is very healthy. Jiang Yanzhi didn't know about this and was silent for a while. Thank you, I know now. Don't just say thank you, you, the fourth master Jiang of Haining City, should you give me some appreciation? Qin Shincheng drank a large glass of water and was about to ask for a big favor. Jiaojiao blinked, fearing that this buddy's firepower would be directed at her, and she quickly slipped away. Qin Shincheng saw it from the corner of his eye, but he didn't bother to pay attention to her. He just waved his hand tiredly, forget it, I was just kidding. Don't take it to heart. Don't even mention fourth master Jiang from Haining City, sometimes he can't afford to offend him. Jiang Yanzhi was silent for a moment. Jiang Corporation is going to invest in a hospital recently, you can apply for it. After leaving these words, Jiang Yanzhi turned and left. Does this mean thank you? Qin Shincheng raised his eyebrows, but soon smiled again. This is also good, it is a great virtue to repay a favor. Mom, Lao Qin said that you have a little hypoglycemia, but there's nothing wrong with you otherwise. Let's go back quickly and tell the aunt who cooks. We'll go back and have a midnight snack later. Jiaojiao happily took Su Wanrong's arm and left the hospital. When Jiang Yanzhi came out, the car was gone. While driving, Jiaojiao asked with a guilty conscience, Mom, if we drive away, what will happen to Yanzhi? Will he be angry? Who cares? He has legs, can't he walk back? If he hadn't pissed me off, would I have come to the hospital in the middle of the night? Su Wanrong knew that there was nothing wrong with her body, so she stood up again and said with a chuckle, "This matter is not over yet. If he dares to bring that Shanghai back again, I will not acknowledge him as my son and will kick him out of the house." "Okay, Mom, give me all the property our family has. Otherwise, kick him out of the house right now," Jiaojiao said excitedly. She enjoyed watching the fun, even if it involved herself. Jiaojiao would still be shameless. Su Wanrong didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "I know. Look at you, such a money grubber. Oh, by the way, I see you like the jade Gamoku chess piece that Yanzhi just brought back. You can take it when we go back later. Anyway, I have skin care products, which is enough for me." The mother-in-law and daughter-in-law returned to the Jiang family, and hot meals were put on the table again. When the two of them had almost finished eating, the man with the dark face strode in from the door. He threw the clothes hanging in his arms aside and stared at Jiaojiao with angry eyes. "What do you mean? You drove away in the middle of the night, didn't you think about me?" Poor guy, when he came out of the hospital, he looked left and right, and the car was gone. No one answered the phone. It must be that wild woman Jiaojiao who deliberately made trouble for him. "Hey, what's your attitude? This is home, not a place for you to vent your anger and scold employees." Su Wanrong was unhappy and scolded with a stern face, "If you have the guts, you can act tough outside. Why are you being so tough with Jiaojiao?" Su Wanrong said dissatisfiedly, and pulled Jiaojiao, who was eating with her mouth full of oil, over, clapping her hands and coaxing her softly. "Jiaojiao, although my son is not a good one, he is still handsome, which is his only advantage. Since you have married into the family, just bear with him for this only advantage, but don't be angry. What if I get so angry that I really want a divorce? My son is so stupid that he can't even coax his wife. What is the point of having such a face?" Su Wanrong couldn't think about it, as it made her even angrier. Forget it, she should call her husband and ask him to come back as soon as possible from his business trip. She really doesn't want this useless son anymore. If you keep going on like this, I hope you don't end up being alone. Mom. The acting spirit came online, and Jiaojiao burst into tears instantly, and was so moved that she couldn't help but say, "Mom, you are so good to me. Just for your kindness, Jiaojiao will always respect you well." Oh my. In this play, even you appeared. Jiang Yanzhi felt that she had really lost her temper. He took a deep breath, and then another deep breath. What could he do facing such an aggressive mother and wife? "I can only give up. I resigned myself to my fate and said, okay, it's my fault. My legs are too short to keep up with you guys. You guys drove away, so I deserve to be left without a car. Who made me angry?" Seeing her stupid son lower his head and apologize, Su Wanrong suddenly felt better. He turned around to look at Jiaojiao beside him and patted her head lovingly. "Jiaobao, it's getting late after all this trouble, go to bed quickly." As for the matter of the wild woman, Su Wanrong knew about it. Su Wanrong bit a piece of candy in her mouth, and her pretty face was cold. Jiaojiao, the drama queen, felt that the time was almost right, and immediately left this impulsive crematorium in a hurry. "Mom, good night, then I'm going to rest." "Okay, good night, and take that box of Gamoku. New." Jiaojiao took the gift away. Jiang Yanzhi felt a little upset. "Mom, this is a gift for you. Why did you give it to her? She doesn't understand. This is a chess piece made by Master Zhiji himself, and the price is sky high." Su Wanrong chuckled and slowly adjusted her clothes. Her temperament was just right. In an instant she was the elegant and noble Mrs. Jiang again. Doesn't she understand or learn? Are you born knowing everything? "Jiang Yanzhi, you are my son, I can't despise you too much, but if you really don't know how to coax your wife, don't blame me for being rude. I will discuss with your father tomorrow, and I will transfer 10% of Jiang Group's shares to Jiaojiao's name." Chapter 15. Such a wild angel, kicking really accurately. 10% of Jiang Group's shares, that's a huge sum of money. Jiang Yanzhi pressed her eyebrows and said, "Mom, please stop making trouble, okay? Even if you dare to give her the shares, she may not dare to take them. Why doesn't she dare to ask for it? She is my daughter-in-law. Isn't it my duty to treat her well? At least it will save someone from being seduced by wild women every day." Su Wanrong said unhappily, while taking a closer look at the skin care products at hand. My son seems a little stupid. But the gift was okay. She likes it very much. Mom, you can't just believe everything you hear, right? You believe everything Jiaojiao says, so am I your biological child? Jiang Yanzhi wiped his face. He had been working so hard all day, but why? The original intention was to come back and have a meal together, but in the end, not only did we have to go to the hospital in the middle of the night, but in the blink of an eye, 10% of the shares were gone. I am a little envious of that woman who won without much effort. Stop talking nonsense to me. Anyway, the shares have been transferred. If you dare to do anything weird to me, I will not acknowledge you as my son, and you will leave the house with nothing. Su Wanrong went upstairs with 2 gifts in her arms. Jiang Yanzhi couldn't help but yelled upstairs, Mom, you're giving away shares. Does my dad agree? Su Wanrong said without even turning her head, if you dare to mention this to your father, he will not only kick you out of the house, but you might even lose your legs. TSK. The old man of the Jiang family cried and shouted for his granddaughter-in-law to marry, and the whole family is satisfied, except for this bad boy who doesn't know how to cherish her. Look, who will be the unlucky one in the end? Jiang Yanzhi. Oh, and there's also his biological grandfather. That old man really kissed him so much that he wanted to kick him to death. Forget it. After all, he has the lowest status in this family, and he has given up struggling long ago. Upstairs, Jiaojiao ignored the quarrel between mother and son and closed the door to take a shower. With the jade gobang set at hand, he dialed the phone. Hey Yao, how did it end up in Jiang Yanzhi's hands? Obsidian is the name of this set of gobang, which is quite domineering. The other party blinked and said in surprise, how do you know? Hey Yao was sold at an auction. The bidder was a Mr. Jiang, so that makes sense. Jiaojiao. What price did he offer? 380 million. Chen Ning said with a smile, why? Did you see Hey Yao? Jiaojiao was a little speechless. She did more than just see it, it was now hers. In other words, she made 380 million yuan from Jiang Yanzhi for free, and this feeling is pretty good. Yeah, I see. He looked away from the obsidian and said, that's it. Since it has come back again, it must be destined to be with me. I won't sell it for now. She's not short of money anyway. Okay, my master of strategy. You are good at playing, you are good looking, and you have the final say. Chen Ning flattered him, but Jiaojiao had already hung up the phone. Master Gigi, it's just a casual play. Who made her know how to do everything and be good at everything? Jiaojiao, what kind of love potion did you give my mother to make her protect you like this? Jiang Yanzhi got angry just looking at this woman. He bought Master Gigi's work for 380 million to please his mother, but in the blink of an eye, it ended up in Jiaojiao's hands. I feel inexplicably aggrieved. If he had known this would be the result, why would he have gone through all that trouble? Isn't what you said nonsense? Mom has always loved me, is there any need to drug me? Jiaojiao glanced at him and drove him out impatiently. Hey, do you have anything else to do? If not, get out of here. Although we are husband and wife, you and I both know that this doesn't count. Don't hang around in my room all the time, and I won't go to your room to take care of you. Let's keep to ourselves, understand? Jiaojiao came out wrapped in a bath towel after taking a shower. Her round shoulders were exposed above, and her straight calves were exposed below. Her legs were so white and glowing that Jiang Yanzhi felt a little dizzy. The scattered hair, wet and draped over the shoulders, formed a strong contrast with the snow-white skin, and the symptoms of dizziness seemed to be even worse. Jiaojiao, although wild, is more beautiful. Jiang Yanzhi admitted this. Suddenly I didn't want to leave. She crossed her arms and said, why doesn't it count? Although it's a secret marriage, the marriage certificate is not fake. Jiaojiao, we are all adults, don't play hard to get. Tell me, you deliberately dressed like this, isn't it because you want to keep me? A gentleman who turns into a villain, when he gets ruthless, his methods are bloody and no one dares to provoke him. When they are shameless, they are like dogs and have no bottom line at all. Jiaojiao gritted her teeth, you are sick. What do you care what I wear after taking a shower? After shaking her wet hair, Jiaojiao went to find a hair dryer. After making sure that her hair would not get frizzy again, she decisively turned it on. The buzzing sound swept everything in an instant. Jiang Yanzhi's eyes dimmed for a moment, she snorted, went to her room to find her clothes, and went to take a shower. Jiaojiao took this opportunity to quickly dry her hair, then went back to her room, locked the door, and went to sleep. The action is done in one go, without any redundancy. You bastard, are you secretly flirting with her to sleep with her? Too bad she doesn't need it now. A dirty man deserves only one fate, to be disposed of or sold off. When Jiang Yanzhi came out, the door of the room was locked. He took a deep breath, looked at the locked door, and went to find the spare key. The next second, the door unlocked and he stepped in. In the dark room, moonlight filtered through the window and quietly fell on the ground, like a layer of silver light covering the ground. Jiang Yanzhi raised her eyes and saw the little woman on the bed was sleeping soundly, like a little pig. I just took a shower and the room smells good. Moreover, they are completely defenseless. Or did you think that if you locked the door, he wouldn't be able to get in? Childish. Jiang Yanzhi curled her lips and stepped over. When you get closer, you can see the woman's peaceful sleeping face, like a lovely angel. Oh! Angel? Jiang Yanzhi came back to his senses suddenly and was shocked by his own thought. Just, who the hell has ever seen such a wild angel? Take a deep breath, then another deep breath, and lie down next to her, and sleep. It was rare for the two of them to be so peaceful together. At this moment, Jiang Yanzhi strangely felt a sense of peace and tranquility. Jiang Yanzhi. I clearly locked the door, how did you get in? When the sun shone in, Jiang Yanzhi was kicked awake, and then there was Jiaojiao's angry voice, are you a bit sick? I changed the password, but you were still able to come in. I locked the door, but you were still able to come in. Were you a thief in your previous life? When you wake up, you find a man in your bed, how do you feel? Jiaojiao's only feeling was, damn, I'm dirty. This is like being stained with a pile of shit, the kind that can't be shaken off, thrown away, or washed off. Yes, I was a thief in my previous life, a flower-stealing thief. Jiang Yanzhi was kicked awake, covering her legs with her hands, looking as if she wanted to strangle her to death. Jiaojiao. You kicked so accurately, do you want to die? Chapter 16. As long as the fourth master becomes the son-in-law of their Shen family. You're the one who wants to die because you're saying discouraging things so early in the morning. Jiaojiao got up with a gloomy face, grabbed the pillow and threw it at him again. You climbed onto the bed in the middle of the night and you still think you're right, why didn't I kick you to death just now? It turns out that my aim is not good enough, I'll keep practicing next time. Jiaojiao. Jiang Yanzhi raised his hand to block the pillow that was thrown at him, his eyebrows throbbing fiercely, this is totally unreasonable. He wanted to cripple him and kick him to death at every turn. How could a normal person do that? It's none of your business if it's unreasonable. Why are you still standing there? Get up quickly. I'm going to clean up. Jiaojiao chuckled, changed her clothes quickly, and cleaned up the room. The Jiang family has servants, but Jiaojiao is not used to it. Her own bedroom, her own room, servants are not allowed to enter. It's her private territory, no one is allowed to trespass. Jiang Yanzhi's face was gloomy. After a long while, he gritted his teeth and said, I really spoiled you. Oh, then thank you. Jiaojiao smiled wryly and went out to wash up. Jiang Yanzhi's forehead veins throbbed, he raised his hand to press his brows, and quickly stood up. Half an hour later, the servant called downstairs for dinner. The two walked downstairs one after the other. Jiaojiao pulled out a chair and just sat down. She said, Sister Wang, I don't want the sheets in my room anymore. Please pick them up and throw them away when you get back. Su Wanrong always gets up late and hasn't come downstairs yet. There were only Jiaojiao and Jiang Yanzhi at the dinner table. Sister Wang was stunned for a moment. Madam, the bed sheet was just made once. Did you really throw it away? Rich and willful. It's dirty. I don't want it anymore. Jiaojiao said to herself, not caring whether the man opposite her had a gloomy face or not. She quickly finished her breakfast in front of her, wiped her mouth and went out. Tell Mom that I won't be back tonight. Call me if you have anything. Okay? Sister Wang agreed. When she turned around, she heard Jiang Yanzhi ask, do you often stay out all night? Not really. When the madam doesn't come back, I'll tell the mistress. Jiang Yanzhi ate breakfast slowly. Su Wanrong came downstairs and asked in surprise, "Where's Jiaojiao?" "I finished eating and am leaving." Jiang Yanzhi replied, looking up at Sister Wang, "Don't throw away the sheets. Although the Jiang family is rich, they can't be extravagant and wasteful." "Yes, master." Su Wanrong asked, "Why are you throwing the sheets so early in the morning? Did you have a fight last night?" Of course, the kind of fighting she was talking about wasn't really a fight in the literal sense. Jiang Yanzhi understood immediately. However, he would never admit that he understood it immediately, and he didn't want to explain the reason for throwing the bed sheet. Especially telling his own mother about it, it was a bit embarrassing, and he might even be laughed at by her. Changing the subject, "Mom, the company is busy these 2 days, I won't be back for the time being, call me if you have anything." "I know." Su Wanrong said unhappily, "Every one of them makes me worry. I plan to live in the old house for a while and spend some time with my grandfather and his family." "So, our little Jiaobao is now standing up? He dares to kick the fourth master off the bed." Bai Xiuxiu laughed loudly, while Jiaojiao looked indifferent. "What do I need a man for? A man will only slow down the speed at which I make money." "That's true." Bai Xiuxiu was also very interested in making money. But now, she was interested in something else. "Jiaobao, you are famous." Jiaojiao made the headlines. A fight at a roadside barbecue stall was recorded on video and posted online, and it instantly became the second most searched topic. The first reason is that Jiaojiao has never been able to compete with popular stars in officially announcing their relationships. But this second one is enough. Didn't Qin Shinchang say that he had dealt with the situation? How come there are still some fish that slipped through the net? Jiaojiao glanced at the trending search. "This screenshot is really good. It just happened to capture the hideous side of me. Someone must be slandering her. Do you want to check?" Bai Xiuxiu asked, looking eager to try. "We are just bored, why don't we go, do something?" "Okay, I'm bored too, let's do something." Jiaojiao hung up her phone and didn't bother to care about the trending searches. In short, her reputation has long been known to everyone in the entire Haining City. She is just wild anyway, so what's a fight? She never cared. The red sports car drove out. Jiaojiao enjoyed the feeling of racing while connecting to the phone. "It's me. I want to check which kind-hearted person leaked this information. I'm going to show up and thank him." The voice on the other end sounded somewhat amused. "You want to play?" "I've been playing all the time." "Okay, I'll give you the address later." Jiang's office. Luo Fei went in with his phone, and Jiang Yanzhi looked up. "What's up?" "Yes." Luo Fei hesitated, and then said, "Boss Jiang, the fight between my wife and me has become a hot topic. I just took a look and it seems that someone is deliberately targeting my wife." "Hit someone? When did she hit someone again?" Jiang Yanzhi snorted coldly. "She's spoiled." He bowed his head and signed a document. Seeing that Luo Fei was still not leaving, he said, "What are you standing there for? Go do what you need to do." "Yes, Mr. Jiang." Luo Fei put away his phone and turned to leave. After signing the second document, Jiang Yanzhi threw the pen aside in annoyance, opened her phone to search for trending topics, and finally saw her, who was in second place. The woman in the photo has a cold expression on her face, her teeth are bared, and she is wild in her bones. Is she going to do something like a fight herself? It's so embarrassing. With a cold face, he pressed the intercom. "Remove the trending search. Although it is a secret marriage, I still feel unhappy." He can bully Jiang Yanzhi's woman, but it is impossible for him to bully others. Shen Ruoxue was flipping through her phone and was obviously in a very good mood. "Sister Ruoxue, your feet are much better today. The swelling seems to be going down gradually. You will be fine in a few days." The nurse Zhangzi carefully helped her change the medicine. The action was accidentally a little too heavy. Shen Ruoxue gasped and slapped him fiercely with her hand. "You're going to die. It hurts so much, do you still want to do it? If you don't want to do it, get out." Zhangzi was slapped and her face became swollen. She wanted to cry but held it back. She couldn't lose this job. "I'm sorry, Sister Ruoxue, I was careless just now. I won't dare to do it again next time," Zhangzi said with red eyes. Shen Ruoxue was too lazy to watch her crying. "Hold back your tears. You're crying so early in the morning. You're crying. I'm not dead yet." No one would have thought that Shen Ruoxue, who portrayed herself as a beautiful lady in front of the public, would actually be so vicious in private. Sang Zi's family is not well off, and she can earn some money by being Shen Ruoxue's caregiver. Shen Ruoxue has a bad temper, but Sang Zi puts up with it for the sake of the high salary. Next, Shen Ruoxue continued to scroll through the trending searches, and suddenly realized it was gone. What's going on? Where's that trending search just now? Shen Ruoxue sat up suddenly and asked sternly. Sang Zi didn't dare to answer. He quickly changed the medicine for her and went out to throw away the garbage. Shen Ruoxue didn't give up and looked carefully over and over again. But the hot search seemed like an illusion, as if it had never appeared. Damn it! Someone must be helping her. Shen Ruoxue said with a dark face after taking a deep breath, almost throwing her phone away. Is it the Jiang family, the Jiu family, or the Qin family? Jiaojiao has a strong backing and a powerful background, so for a while, Shen Ruoxue wasn't sure who had removed the trending search. Just at this moment. Xiaoxue, what are we having for lunch? Mommy will make it. Shen's mother came in and looked at her daughter ingratiatingly. Shen Ruoxue said coldly, whatever, anything is fine. Obviously in a bad mood. Shen's mother didn't dare to offend this daughter. After all, the entire Shen family still depended on this daughter for support. Even though she hasn't been a star in the past few years, she still has a lot of savings, not to mention, there is a fourth master behind Ruoxue. This is also where Shen's mother is most confident. I hurried in to coax her, okay, don't be angry. If there is anything, let's solve it slowly after dinner. Otherwise, how about mommy make dumplings for you? Eating dumplings will make you fat. Wrapping meat in dough will make you gain 3 pounds. Look at me, can I get any fatter? Shen Ruoxue said impatiently. Shen's mother shut up and dared not say anything else. Okay, do you think you are still the Shen Ruoxue of 4 years ago? You have been abroad for 4 years, and you haven't learned any skills, but you have a bad temper. Shen Jingbing walked in with a face full of anger. Quick, give me some money, I just lost money and I need to go back to make up for it. You went gambling again. Shen Ruoxue almost threw her phone away. Shen Jingbing. How many times have you told me that you will gamble sooner or later and you will bankrupt yourself sooner or later? Why don't you listen? How could she have such a brother? The gambling debts she paid off for him alone amounted to several million. I don't always lose, so why didn't you say anything when I won? Stop talking nonsense and give me the money, 300,000. I will definitely make it back. Shen Jingbing said impatiently. Shen Ruoxue was so angry that she wanted to kill him. Seeing that things were not going well, Shen's mother hurried out to smooth things over. Xiaoxue, what's wrong with your brother asking you for some money? Anyway, you have the fourth master, why don't you ask the fourth master for some? Mother Shen's eyes flickered. As long as the fourth master becomes the son-in-law of their Shen family, who in the entire Haining City would dare to mess with their Shen family? How could I have family like you? You are a bunch of vampires. Shen Ruoxue was furious. Shen Jingbing was not afraid of boiling water. Okay, if you don't give it to me, I will ask the fourth master for it. Tell me, if the fourth master knew that you have a brother who is a gambler, would he still want you? Shen Ruoxue's eyes went dark, and she almost vomited blood. She gritted her teeth and said, okay, you are really my good brother. But, do you think I am easy to bully? If you dare to go find the fourth master, believe it or not, I will kill you. She had wasted for years. She didn't want to miss brother Yanzhi again. When Shen Jingbing saw that she was really angry, his heart was beating fast. He didn't want to mess with a crazy woman. She curled her lips and softened her attitude. Then if you give me 300,000, I won't go to the fourth master. Get out of here. Along with this angry shout, a card was thrown out. Shen Jingbing happily put it away and said cheerfully, you are indeed my good sister. I'm going to get out of here, right now. Number 17, Block A, Zhongshanming Road. Following the address, Jiaojiao and Bai Xiuxiu went upstairs. Seeing that the room number was correct, Jiaojiao curled her lips, took a step back, and kicked the door. Chapter 17 Giving face means scolding you to death. Bai Xiuxiu was shocked. Fuck, sister, are we so wild? If I'm not wild, can I be called the wildest young lady in Haining City? Jiaojiao put her hands on her hips proudly. Not to mention, she even liked this unique title. Bai Xiuxiu was convinced. Pointing to the door in front of him, it wasn't kicked open. I saw it. Jiaojiao said, anyway, someone will open the door soon. As soon as he finished speaking, the door in front of him was pulled open, and a messy head stuck out. A pair of dark circles glared at the two of them, and his eyes were red. Are you looking for death? How dare you kick my door? Jiaojiao sneered, I think you are ugly. I will give you one more chance, and talk to me with a correct attitude. I'll fuck you. He Yanquan opened his mouth and said. Jiaojiao raised her leg and kicked him again, and He Yanquan was kicked into the door with a cry. The two girls looked at each other, sneered and stepped in. The dark circles under his eyes were hit, and he came to his senses now. He quickly raised his hand to wipe his eyes, and looked at the two people in shock. Jiu, Miss Jiu. He recognized Jiaojiao but not Bai Xiuxiu. Bai Xiuxiu was unhappy. Although my Bai family is not well known in Haining City, it is not to be ignored to this extent. 1 Jiang, 2 Jiu, and 3 Qins. The Bai family can't be ranked in the top 3, but it must be in the top 4, right? Bai Xiuxiu was so angry that she kicked He Yanquan directly. He Yanquan cried and rolled on the ground, shouting, I won't live anymore. I can't live anymore. I just got beaten up and the trending search was removed. I didn't do it on purpose, I was wrong, isn't it? Why did you come to me again? He was crying with snot and tears, so pitiful. Jiaojiao took a closer look at the dark circles under her eyes and felt a little sorry for them. So, you got these dark circles because you got beaten. Dark circles rubbed her tears vigorously and cried even harder. We are all trying to make a living. I just secretly revealed some small information. I didn't get much money. I was beaten up like this. I am so pitiful. Where can I seek justice? I cried so hard that my eyes almost went blind. Bai Xiuxiu. Sorry, that's disrespectful. Which warrior did this? He is stealing her job. She's not satisfied yet, this troublemaker. So angry. You said someone beat you up. Who did it? Jiaojiao pulled Bai Xiuxiu away and asked He Yanquan. He Yanquan was beaten and kicked. Not only did he not make any money, but he was also about to lose his life. He was really ready to risk his life and was not afraid of anyone. How would I know who beat you up? Even if it was the fourth master, would I dare to say anything? Fourth master? Jiang Yanzhi. Dog man. If you want to lie, just lie. Stop talking nonsense, okay? Do you think that with fourth master Jiang's status, he can vent my anger by beating up a dog head like you? Jiaojiao sneered and didn't believe a word of it. That bastard wanted to strangle her to death, become a widow as soon as possible, and then go find his white moonlight. Spraying sulfuric acid on the face can cause disfigurement that can never be washed away. I'm just making an analogy. Don't you understand what I'm saying? Dark Eyes shouted angrily, but he stopped crying this time. She's just Miss Jiu, isn't it okay if he's wrong? Miss, please don't hit me anymore. Woo, I can't stand it anymore. I'm so miserable. I know I was wrong. I shouldn't have thought about making some money. Now I almost lost my life. He said miserably with dark circles under his eyes. Those who heard it were sad, and those who saw it cried. Jiaojiao had a slight toothache and was disgusted. Bai Xiuxiu kicked him and said, Hey, you are grown man, can you stop crying? Stand up and talk. Why? Dark Circle rolled over and got up. Jiaojiao asked, Who asked you to reveal the information? Who is the mastermind behind you? I don't know. Just a phone call, and then a USB flash drive was stuffed into the crack of the door, and a card was given with 100,000 yuan on it. He wiped his face with dark circles under his eyes. It became uglier and unbearable to look at. Jiaojiao couldn't bear to watch, so Bai Xiuxiu kicked the man and told him to go and wash it. Half an hour later, the dark circles were washed away. Bai Xiuxiu was shocked. Fuck. You are such a clean-cut pretty boy. Except for the dark circles under your eyes, if you look closely, you look pretty good. What's the use of being good? He was beaten like this. But in the end he didn't get the 100,000, he lost a lot. What's your name? Jiaojiao suddenly asked. The pretty boy with dark circles under his eyes replied simply, Fang Cheng. Okay, Fang Cheng. Give me the phone number of the mastermind behind this. By the way, give me the USB flash drive. I won't bother with you about today. Jiaojiao is a person who clearly distinguishes between gratitude and grudges and will take revenge when she is wronged. Since this person has already learned his lesson, she will not kill him. Of course, Jiaojiao didn't believe that Jiang Yanzhi took the initiative to help her. It's not dark yet, so dreams are nonsense. After leaving here, the two went directly to their Western restaurant and ordered 2 Western meals. Jiao, why are you asking Fang Cheng's name? Is there any use for him? Bai Xiuxiu shook the red cup in her glass. As long as the two of them are not fighting and are not bandits, they are still very noble and elegant. Among the people in this restaurant, there are only 2 people who are good looking and have good temperament. It's useful. He's a talented person who can bend and stretch. Maybe he'll be useful in the future. Jiaojiao was cutting steak and eating it. She was tired from the hard kick just now. As he was talking, the phone at home rang. Jiaojiao, you are really good. Can you explain to me what's going on with that trending search? She's her biological mother. Jiaojiao coaxed her quickly. Mom, isn't this normal? If your daughter doesn't fight one day, do you suspect that she is going to become a good girl? Mar. Oh, this is my own child, I can't scold him or hit him. One sentence can stop her. I was so angry that I threw the phone away. Forget it, she has already married, so let the Jiang family worry about it. Where were we just talking? Continue. Jiaojiao continued to eat steak, as if what had just happened had never happened. Bai Xiuxiu gave a thumbs up. I'm convinced. Then, before he could continue, Jiang Yanzhi called and said simply, where are you? Jiaojiao. She wanted to hang up the phone, but after looking at Bai Xiuxiu, she gave Jiang Yanzhi some face in front of her best friend. Let's have lunch outside. Address? Jiang Yanzhi asked. Jiaojiao was surprised. Why are you coming? Jiang Yanzhi had a gloomy face and was not in a good mood. You are on a hot search and you still think you are right. Do you know that you are already married? You are my wife. You are Mrs. Jiang. I don't expect you to do anything good, but please don't embarrass me, okay? Oh shit. For the entire morning, his mind was almost entirely filled with this woman who laughed ostentatiously, fought ruthlessly, and could make him angry to death when they quarreled. It's really possessed. Heh. Jiang Yanzhi, what's in your head? Half water, half flour. After shaking it around for a few times, it's filled with a mess. You and I are in a secret marriage, a secret marriage. Do you know what a secret marriage is? How did I embarrass you? If you don't tell others, how will they know that I am unlucky enough to marry a fool like you? Jiaojiao's eyes were filled with anger and her temper exploded. Bai Xiuxiu. Raising his hands to cover his face, where is the face you promised me? This face is really great. Chapter 18. Any young guy is more handsome and gentle than him. Jiang Yanzhi has smashed the phone. Luo Fei, who was standing next to him, looked at his nose and his heart, not daring to speak. As a special assistant, although his rank was slightly higher than that of an assistant, it was actually of no use. When the fourth master is angry, he must keep his mouth shut to avoid being implicated. Go out. Jiang Yanzhi said in a cold voice, her eyes full of coldness, as if winter had arrived and a blizzard instantly covered the entire office. Luo Fei hurried out. The man left inside took another deep breath and felt a headache. Suddenly I remembered what the woman said just now. His brain is half flour and half water, and it turns into paste after shaking it around. I was instantly pissed off again. On the contrary, he is quite sharp-tongued. Just at this moment, his private phone rang. Jiang Yanzhi temporarily put the woman who made him unhappy out of his mind and answered the phone. What's the matter? The voice was gentle and there was no difference in what could be heard. But his expression was so gloomy that water could drip out of it. Shinruoshua only needed to listen to this gentle voice, and she felt her heart, which had been tense, calm down instantly. Sure enough, Brother Yanzhi still likes her. She said in a coquettish tone, Brother Yanzhi, I'm so bored alone, I want to find you. Looking for me? The gentle voice said, I'm at work. This is a rejection. Shinruoshua felt indescribably lost. A woman's sixth sense told her that Jiang Yanzhi had been deliberately keeping a distance from her since she returned to China. She bit her lip, unwilling to give up like this. But she is smart, well-behaved and considerate. Half aggrieved, half sensible, she said, "But I miss you. Brother Yanzhi, my foot injury is just a minor one, it's not a big deal, I'll go over to see you, just one look, and then I'll leave, okay?" She tried her best to be humble, so that Jiang Yanzhi could not say no in the end. His eyes sparkled, thinking of a woman who didn't know how to be polite. He said, and hung up the phone. Shinruoshue immediately stood up happily and dressed up. "Mom, I'm going to Jiang's group, you all should behave yourself. Especially my brother, you should take care of him, if he ruins my good things, I will never be polite to him." Before Shinruoshue left the house, the doorbell rang. Shinruoshue's eyes lit up and she hurriedly urged, "Mom, go open the door quickly. Brother Yanzhi has sent someone to pick me up." Mother Shin was also very happy and kept saying, okay, I'll go open the door." "Hey, who are you? Are you the driver sent by the fourth master to pick up Ruoshue? The woman at the door looks like a noble lady, with all her clothes covered in designer brands that you can't even tell she's wearing. She looks so elegant." Then, Shin's mother was shocked. Are all drivers so greedy these days? Role is a new word she just learned, and she always feels that it is most appropriate to use it here. Driver. Su Wanrong smiled and said gently, "I'm not a driver. My last name is Su. I'm here to see Miss Shin." Mother Su came back to her senses and said awkwardly, "Is that so? Sorry, I recognized the wrong person." He turned around quickly and said, "Xiaoshue, this Miss Su is here to see you." Shinruoshue was still changing clothes in the room. When she heard the voice, "Miss Su," her heart skipped a beat and she suddenly became panicked. Last name Su. Who else could it be but her? Thinking of the scene 4 years ago, Shinruoshue closed her eyes tightly. After a moment, she slowly opened them again, with a calm look in her eyes. She told herself she had gotten through the worst times in the past, so how much more so today, 4 years later? What's so scary? After changing clothes and going out, I saw Su Wanrong sitting in the living room, like the owner, with an elegant and superior demeanor. In contrast, her mother was like a servant. When tea was brought over, people refused to drink it, so she just stood aside, submissive and inexplicably felt inferior. It really embarrasses her. With a distorted expression on her face, Shinruoshue limped out on one leg and said in surprise, "Aunt Su, why are you here? Look, my foot is injured and it's a bit inconvenient for me to walk. I'm sorry for neglecting you, Aunt Su." Mother Shin also realized at this time, this noble lady who suddenly came to visit was the mother of the fourth master, and she immediately became more reserved. He quickly forced a smile and said, "So it's my future in-laws. Look at me, I didn't recognize you." "Mom. What nonsense are you talking about?" Shinruoshue's face changed, and she quickly sent Shin's mother away. "My brother has something else to do outside, and is waiting for you. You should go quickly. Aunt Su is here, I'll be all right." I was so angry inside, but I didn't dare to show it on my face. What sin did she commit in her previous life that she was not born into a wealthy family? It would have been fine, but in this life she had to be held back by such a mother? "Aunt Su, my mother didn't understand the situation and offended Aunt Su. I would like to apologize to Aunt Su on behalf of my mother," Shinruoshue said quickly. Watching Shin's mother leave helplessly, Shinruoshue finally breathed a sigh of relief. She put on a well-behaved smile on her face, trying her best to win Su Wanrong's favor. Su Wanrong was a young lady from Jiangnan, and her temperament was always as gentle as water. But she was happy after marriage. She was spoiled by her husband when she was young, and after she had a son, she was spoiled by her son again. Her temper now really can't be described as gentle. She didn't even glance at the tea on the table, and went straight to the point. "Miss Shin, let's not beat around the bush and get straight to the point. 4 years ago, it was impossible for you to be with my son, and 4 years later, it's just as impossible for you to be with my son. My son has been married for a long time. If you have any dignity, you should stop pestering him. After all, the couple is quite harmonious, and no matter how much you interfere, you will only be embarrassed." The warning 4 years ago still applies today. The smile on Shinruoshue's face froze, but her eyes were instantly filled with tears. She choked and said, "Aunt Su, you misunderstood me. I have always admired Brother Yanzhi and never dared to have other thoughts. After all, after Brother Yanzhi got married, I heard that he and his wife were also very respectful to each other. Even if others wanted to, they couldn't interfere." Oh shit. Now it was Su Wanrong's turn to be shocked. What a white lotus that had advanced in cultivation, it really had some skills. On the surface, she said that she didn't dare, but secretly she was very daring. He didn't play tricks on her and chuckled, no matter how much you argue, it's useless. I came to you today to make my point, no matter what means you use, it's useless. The daughter-in-law that our Jiang family marries in this life can only be named Jiu. Su Wanrong left the Shen family, still full of anger. After thinking for a while, she didn't want to scold her son anymore. She picked up the phone and scolded her husband. Look at what kind of evil creature you gave birth to, what a bastard. Very good. Jiang Wanhe was scolded. After coaxing his wife with veins throbbing, he grabbed the phone and scolded his son again. If you can't give me a granddaughter within a year, you don't have to stay in Jiang's. Just transfer it to Jiaojiao. We can rely on Jiaojiao for our old age. What's the point of having a son? It not only makes his wife angry, but also brings him bad luck. Jiaojiao didn't know about these things. The two of them ate in the Western restaurant without caring about their appearance. After wiping their mouths, Bai Xiuxiu asked, Jiabao, you had a quarrel with the fourth master and you just scolded him. Are you really not going to live with him? Jiaojiao picked up the red wine and drank another glass. What's the use of celebrating? He never pays attention to me. What's the use of him? Anyone can do it if you want to have fun. He's an old man, but he really thinks I care about him. Look, any young man on the street is better looking and more gentle than him. With drunken eyes, he looked out the transparent French window and suddenly became interested. Look, a young handsome guy. Coincidentally, the young man turned his head at this moment. When the young man saw Jiaojiao in the Western restaurant, his eyes lit up. The next second, he pushed the door open and came in, flirting with Jiaojiao, hooking her waist and saying, Sister, I fell in love with you at first sight. Do you want to date me? Oh my god. Are all the young handsome guys these days so fierce? Bai Xiuxiu's eyes widened. Bai Xiuxiu's eyes widened. She was really dumbfounded and shocked at this moment, and didn't react for a moment to pull the person away. By the time I reacted, a car stopped outside with a bang. A man with long legs got out of the car and strode into the restaurant. He grabbed the young man by the collar and threw him out with a clang. Chapter 19: The clash between the young hunk and the real husband. The sudden noise frightened everyone. When they came to their senses, the handsome guy who had just been knocked out screamed angrily, Jiang Yanzhi, what are you doing? I finally fell in love with a beautiful girl with fair skin, get out of my way. If you dare to ruin my marriage, I will never let you go. Wei Yizhen rubbed his butt and screamed in frustration, jumped up from the ground and rushed towards Jiang Yanzhi. It looked like a mad calf. The people watching in the restaurant also recognized the people at the scene. Great, they were not to be trifled with. For a moment, no one dared to call the police, nor did they dare to watch the fun openly. Instead, he quickly turned his head and secretly recorded it with his mobile phone. While recording, he pricked up his ears and listened quickly. Oh! It's so lively. TSK, I haven't seen it in a long time. Bai Xiuxiu, who was a little anxious just now, immediately stopped being anxious when she heard that the guy who was being beaten was called Wei Yizhen. She really didn't recognize him just now, but now that she recognized him, she felt secretly happy. This excitement is worth watching. By the way, she winked at the lady opposite her, Jiabao. I didn't expect you to be so popular. Just shut up. Jiaojiao was already half drunk, but was sobered up by the sudden appearance of two men. Groove. One is the famous fourth master Jiang in Haining City, the kind that no one can afford to offend. One is the legendary crazy master Wei who specifically likes beautiful sisters. She doesn't want to get involved with him either. This is really a bad year. Come on, now that we've had enough food and drink, let's go home and sleep. Jiaojiao stood up, pushed the man next to her away, and wanted to leave with Bai Xiuxiu. Jiang Yanzhi looked gloomy, grabbed her arm fiercely, and said to the restaurant manager on the side, no one is allowed to leave. No video of what happened today can be leaked. The manager nodded and bowed with a bitter face, but fourth master, our restaurant does not have the right to do so. Luo Fei, the special assistant of Jiang Group, walked in quickly and said to everyone with a smile on his face, I'm sorry, everyone. Our president went out for dinner today and doesn't want to be disturbed by anyone. So, if any of you recorded the scene just now, please hand over your phone. We at Jiang Group will compensate you at 3 times the original price. If you deliberately don't hand it over, it will be an infringement of our president's personal privacy. Get ready to receive the indictment from our lawyer. Everyone. This is really the fourth master's usual style. Strong, domineering, but also very satisfying to lose. For a moment, there was nothing to consider. Everyone handed in their phones, and Luo Fei paid triple compensation on the spot. Soon, the restaurant was empty. Bai Xiuxiu was also planning to leave. Jiao, I suddenly have a stomachache, I'm going to see Lao Qin for treatment. Oops. She didn't dare to stay in this live version of Shura Hell for long. Run first as a sign of respect. Bai Xiuxiu. You are my best friend, come back here. Jiaojiao screamed angrily. Bai Xiuxiu had already run away, and handed over her mobile phone, and then received 5 times the compensation in a shameless manner. Luo Fei. Really, do you want a best friend like this? Hey, that's almost enough. Look how anxious my little sister is, you should let go, okay? Wei Jin said with his hands covering his butt and grinning, and pulled a chair over to sit down. Jiaojiao was so angry that her eyes turned black. Just shut up. If it wasn't you who caused the trouble, would the fourth master be so crazy? Okay. In front of outsiders, you still have to give a man some face. It's not a loss to call him fourth master. As for this scoundrel Wei Jin, one should look at him with new eyes after 3 days of absence, so she didn't recognize him at first glance. But it's not too late to recognize it now. I wanted to beat him up straight away. Wei Jin blinked, feeling aggrieved. Can you blame me for this? When love comes, you will do anything for it. Sister Jiao, you are more beautiful than before, so just promise me and be my girlfriend, okay? I promise that as long as you want something, even if it is the stars in the sky, I can get it down for you. As long as you are happy, I can do anything. The young and handsome guy is still very good. This is a good way to pursue girls. I have to say, it's really good. For a moment, Jiaojiao felt shamefully moved. Jiang Yanzhi pulled her away, took a deep breath, and stared coldly at Wei Jin, who didn't know whether to live or die with his dark eyes. If you want to die, I can help you. Wei Jin was stunned and almost jumped up again, but he couldn't afford to offend this evil Jiang Xiaoxi. Wei Jin immediately became timid again and muttered, "It's my fault for being too beautiful. It's my fault for falling in love with Sister Jiao at first sight." This weird tone. Jiang Yanzhi's face became even colder. "You're fucking in love at first sight." Luo Fei stroked his forehead and hurried over to say, "Master Wei Jin, for the sake of your life, you'd better leave first." In Haining City, Yijiang, Jiu and Sanqin are well known, but forget about Sai Bai. The Bai family cannot be ranked yet. The ones who can really be ranked are the four guards. Wei family. The Wei family only had one son, Wei Jin. But this only son who could carry on the family line did not follow the usual path. He was a playboy, with both men and women. As long as she is good looking and as long as he likes her, he dares to pursue her. So shameful. The Wei family was so angry about this matter of their only child that their hair turned white. They couldn't control him, so they simply sent him abroad to live wild. Out of sight, out of mind. But no one would have expected that this slut would fall for Jiaojiao right after returning to China. I have to say, he is really good at courting death. Hey, why are you walking? I haven't seen you for a few years. Xiao Jiaojiao has grown into a beautiful young lady. I like this type. The young man Wei Jin said excitedly, saliva gushing out of his eyes. The real word, desire, is the interest that can be seen from the eyes. Luo Fei twitched his lips fiercely. I can't care, die, be destroyed. The next second, Jiang Yanzhi, who could no longer bear it, kicked Wei Jin out. Wei the she-male. Get out of here. You can do whatever you want to others, but not her. A wife in a secret marriage is still a wife. You dare to seduce his wife in front of her husband, you're looking for death. Fuck, Jiang Xiaoxi, are you serious? Wei Jin screamed in pain and tried to rush up while cursing, but Luo Fei quickly grabbed his waist and dragged him out. At this moment, the restaurant manager was scared away and the waiters also quickly left. The only two parties left at the scene were Jiang Yanzhi and Jiaojiao. But Jiaojiao felt that her client was actually quite unlucky. Jiang Yanzhi, you're almost there. You look so angry. Am I putting a hat on you? You can't blame me for this. Wei Yizhen stuck his head out of the door and struggled and shouted, "Sister Jiao, I just like you." Luo Fei resigned himself to his fate and slapped out his hand to cover the guy's mouth, then quickly dragged him out. "Who else can I blame if not you? If you hadn't taken the initiative to flirt with him, how could Wei really like you?" Jiang Yanzhi blurted out, saying coldly. He knew very well that today's incident had nothing to do with Jiaojiao. But he just felt unhappy. "If I say it's you, and if I say it's not you, it's still you, and you can't refute it. Jiang Yanzhi, I think you are really sick, and your illness is not mild. Go to the neurology department and check your brain." Jiaojiao widened her eyes and was very angry. Seeing that he did not leave and was blocking the road, she kicked him hard and said, "Get out of the way. A good dog does not block the road. If you take the initiative to flirt with me, I'll kick you to death." The kick landed on the calf, causing excruciating pain. Jiang Yanzhi's face was distorted with pain. Just as he was about to reach out and grab this woman who didn't know how to live or die, a taxi stopped outside. Shinruoshua, who always dressed like a fairy, came in with a fragrant scent. "Brother Yanzhi, I was just about to go to the company to look for you, and I happened to see you here." She walked past Jiaojiao as if no one was around and threw herself into Jiang Yanzhi's arms. Jiang Yanzhi didn't want to take it at first, but suddenly thought of what had just happened, sneered again, and his mind suddenly changed. He still took Shinruoshua in his arms. Crack! With a crisp sound, Jiaojiao shook her phone and said to the two of them, "Fourth master, live together till old age. I wish you a happy marriage, a son for 10,000 years, and never be alone for the rest of your lives." After saying this, he turned and ran. Jiang Yanzhi pushed Shinruoshua away and shouted angrily, "Jiaojiao, stop right there." Chapter 20, Taking Circle Photos with the Young Boy. "Stand still, only a fool would stand still. I won't stand. What can you do to me? I'm congratulating you on your happy marriage. Why don't you know what's good for you?" Jiaojiao went out and grabbed Wei Yizhen, and then the two of them, one in front and one behind, stuffed themselves into the car almost at the same time. Their movements were so smooth and integrated. You can tell at first glance that they have a tacit understanding. Luo Fei was stunned and didn't dare to stop him. The main thing is that he doesn't have the ability to suppress Wei Yizhen. At the moment when no one dared to stop them, the two men had already rushed into the car, started the car, stepped on the accelerator, and were ready to rush out like a giant beast at any time. When Jiang Yanzhi chased to the front of the car with a rage, Jiaojiao rolled her eyes at him, and the back of the car splashed him in the face, and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Wei Yizhen even raised his middle finger to Jiang Yanzhi provocatively and laughed, "Jiu, Sister Jiao and I are going out to play. Bye." Jiang Yanzhi. My eyes went dark. Jiao. Jiao. That was his car. She drove away. What did he use to get back? Luo Fader, the special assistant at the side, was trembling. "Boss, if you are fighting, don't involve me. You can't see me, and you can't see me. Yanzhi, wait for me." Shinruoshua staggered out of the Western restaurant. When she was pushed away just now, she accidentally sprained her ankle. The pain made her face even paler. However, she was already beautiful, and now with her pale face, she looked even more pitiful. Jiang Yanzhi turned around and looked at Shinruoshua like this. A hint of impatience flashed across his angry eyes, but he covered it up well. "Why are you here?" As long as the woman he is facing is not Jiaojiao, Jiang Yanzhi can control his emotions well. On the contrary, he wished he could strangle Jiaojiao to death. Shinruoshua was stunned. Wasn't this what we had agreed on before? But she was smart enough not to ask this question, and she realized that the man was really in a bad mood. A sensible woman would never cause trouble for a man at this time. She would just change the subject cleverly. "Brother Yanzhi, Miss Jiu has taken your car. Will it be inconvenient for you later? Otherwise, let the driver pick you up." She said it very gently and generously. Luo Fei pretended to be invisible. Jiang Yanzhi glanced at her, then at Luo Fei, and said calmly, "I am indeed very busy. Ruoshua, your feet are not convenient, you should take a taxi back first." Luo Fei received a look from his boss and quickly called another car over. As for Shinruoshua, she hurried over from far away just to see him, but this meeting ended up spraining her ankle for the second time. "Okay, Brother Yanzhi, I'll go back first then. You should make sure to rest even if you're busy. Shinruoshua got in the car and did not forget to give some thoughtful reminders, which gave her a full score for impression. At this moment, Jiang Yanzhi felt like what the hell? Why are there such huge differences between people? He raised his hand and hit his chest. He was so angry that his liver hurt. At this moment, Jiaojiao, who had already stepped on the accelerator and slid out, laughed wantonly and wildly. The whole road was filled with the sound of her laughter. Wei Yizhen, a young handsome man who had just returned from China, also joined her in making a fuss. Sister Jiao, you slapped Jiang Yanzhi in the face and stole his car. What if he comes back to retaliate against you? Would I be afraid of him? Come on, if you're capable, I'll take over. Jiaojiao is a professional racing driver with a license. The car that was snatched away had excellent performance. As soon as the accelerator was stepped on, it instantly felt like it was speeding at top speed. Oh wow! Where are we going? Jiaojiao spoke loudly as the car sped up. Wei Yizhen now. Damn it, he doesn't want to be a handsome young man anymore. He quickly fastened his seatbelt, held the handle tightly with both hands, and said with a stiff face, Ancestor. It doesn't matter where we are going. Can you please slow down the car? There are police cars coming up behind us. Driving in the city is already seriously speeding. Jiaojiao looked behind the car. Okay, a series of mounted police officers with flashing lights were chasing her. How many fines did you get along the way? The car isn't mine anyway, let's play it again. So, when the police behind saw that the car in front was going crazy and they were chasing it further and further away, this time they were really angry. Park the car on the side of the road and notify the traffic police to set up a checkpoint ahead to stop the speeding vehicle. But there was a cordon ahead, but Jiaojiao took a few detours and led Wei Yizhen into the mountains. The mountain road was winding and it was already 2 o'clock in the afternoon when we reached the top. After walking on the mountain road for more than an hour, Wei Yizhen's eyes were almost starry. Sister Jiao, I say, if you don't like me anymore and want to punish me, you don't have to do it so hard. Are you planning to take me to the mountains and kill me to silence me? After getting out of the car, Wei Yizhen vomited violently while holding onto the car door. As the saying goes, other people drive for money, but his ancestors drive for their lives. Wei Yizhen felt dizzy and scared, and felt like she had lost half her life along the way. If I really wanted to kill you to silence you, would there be any need to come here? Jiaojiao rolled her eyes at him, walked to the trunk and opened it to see, there was only a box of mineral water in the back. Jiaojiao laughed, Fourth master. Is that all there is in the car? There should be at least wine and meat, right? If not, there should be a gift box, right? Water alone won't satisfy your hunger. Did she steal a car just to run to the mountains to drink water? She is really sick. He grabbed 2 bottles and threw one to Wei Yizhen, drink some water to calm your nerves. Let's watch the stars tonight before going down the mountain. Wei Yizhen's eyes widened, and he drank the mouthwash into his stomach, and he almost ejaculated again. What are you doing? What are you doing? I've already given in and stopped talking, why should I still watch the stars with you? I don't want it. I want to go down the mountain, I want to eat, I want to drink, I want to pick up girls. I want to live a life of debauchery, I don't want to watch the stars with crazy people. Wei Yizhen roared secretly, regretting it so much that his intestines turned green. I call you cheap and you are indecent. Why are you pretending to be a handsome young man? What young lady do you want? You want nothing. Your young lady is obviously a big devil. The kind that eats people without leaving any bones behind. Hey, what do you mean by that look? You don't want to look at the stars with me? I'm telling you, Xiaojianzi, you've been abroad for a few years and you've been having a lot of fun, right? You don't take me seriously anymore. Jiaojiao immediately looked at him sideways, as if to say, if you dare to nod, I'm going to break your head. Wei Yizhen. He was wrong, he shouldn't have provoked this ancestor. He would never dare to do it again, really. But the next second, Jiaojiao put her arm around his shoulders, then took out her cell phone, took a selfie with a click, and wrote a comment on the circle of friends, I must be looking forward to spending the night with this young hunk. There are barren mountains behind her and handsome men beside her. This situation is quite exciting. When Jiang Yanzhi saw the circle, she started to locate it directly. Jiaojiao didn't know all this. This mountain had just been developed and the road all the way up was dirt. Standing on the top of the mountain and looking around, there was not even a single ghost hair. So, why on earth did she have to bring Wei Yizhen to this shabby place to act crazy? Just to take a circle shot. You have your white moonlight, and I also have my handsome boy, right? Really, I suddenly feel so childish. Forget it, let's go back. When she finished the third bottle of water, Jiaojiao's stomach started to growl and she couldn't hold on any longer. She looked at Wei Yizhen. What's so good about the stars? Let's go down the mountain and eat delicious food. Wei Yizhen. Agree. So, there was something wrong with your brain at the beginning. Why did you rush up the mountain? The two of them quickly and amicably reached a consensus on going down the mountain. Then, Jiaojiao glanced at the fuel gauge and it cracked. Wei Yizhen, do you think there is a possibility we leave the car here and walk down the mountain with our willpower? Chapter 21. Listen to your quibbling, and then look at the stars with your neck lifted. Wei Yizhen didn't react at first. By the time I reacted, my whole body was broken. Not only did it crack, but it also jumped up in rage, shouting at the top of its voice, Jiaojiao. What did I say? I told you to slow down, don't get mad. You insisted on going up this crappy mountain. You went ahead and even ran out of gas. Tell me, what should we do now? This barren mountain is so high, with your two stinky feet, how can you possibly walk back? Really, very crazy. I called a Dongdong taxi, but even Dongdong didn't dare to accept the order. He was really convinced. I haven't seen her for a few years, and I thought she would become more stable as she got older. As a result, he is not steady at all. I wish I could just beat her to death. Har. You are so brave that you dare to yell at me, right? Wei Yizhen, don't you forget that you wet your pants when you were a kid. I lent you my little skirt, otherwise you would have to go back with your bottom naked. Jiaojiao half closed her eyes and was also angry. Besides, I didn't do it on purpose. I was just impulsive and the police were chasing me and I had nowhere to run, so I just rushed in here. Wei Yizhen became even more anxious. Can you please shut up? My name is Wei Yizhen, not Wei Yizhen. Also, that dark history from childhood has been over for 20 years, can you please stop talking about it all the time? Isn't that childish? How childish is this? Saving a life is better than building a 7-story pagoda. What's more, I'm saving your face. Anyway, as long as it can defeat the enemy, it's a magic weapon. After Jiaojiao said this, Wei Yizhen was also so angry that he lost his temper. Seeing the time ticking away, Wei Yizhen admitted defeat. Let's go. The car is out of gas, and you can't fly down. You're just sitting here waiting to starve to death. Okay, take a few bottles of water. Jiaojiao said, opening the trunk and throwing him 2 bottles of water. We can't carry heavy loads, so let's take less to avoid getting more tired. Wei Yizhen. To be honest, if I could turn back time, I would definitely stay away from you. It's such a disaster. Jiaojiao also filled 2 bottles of water for herself, and then, the two of them, relying on their own 2 legs, began to walk down the mountain in the setting sun, swinging their steps and cursing all the way. Then, after a long 3.5 hours, the 2 people, who were exhausted from walking like dogs, panted and had trembling legs, and found the man waiting at the foot of the mountain, Jiang Yanzhi. At this moment, Jiaojiao didn't care at all about whether he was a bastard or not. She seemed to have strength suddenly, and she rushed over with both legs raised, shouting, Jiang Yanzhi, did you bring any food? I'm so hungry. The 2 of them had 4 bottles of water in total. She drank 3.5 bottles, and Wei Yizhen didn't get the remaining half bottle, which he spilled. Wei really wanted to die. Really, where did this evil girl come from? Can I just not want her anymore? Jiang Xiaoxi, no. 4th Master, brother, dear brother, please help me. I will never compete with you for a young lady again. Please be kind and give me something to eat. Ouch, I'm really starving to death. Luo Fei sat in the black Land Rover, not daring to move at all, with a dumbfounded expression on his face, staring at the 2 people in confusion, as if he had seen aliens. It's so disfiguring. He turned his stiff neck again, turned to the cold man in black sitting in the back of the car, and asked, Boss Jiang, it seems to be Madam. Jiang Yanzhi closed the document he was reading, turned his head to look outside, and said slowly, this is a local dog, not a wife. The implication is, ignore it. Luo Fei. When it comes to having fun, the 4th Master is the best. How could he dare to open the door if the fourth master didn't allow him to? Jiaojiao slammed the car hard. Jiang Yanzhi, are you deaf? Get out of the car. If you don't get out, I will smash the car. Wei Jin was too tired to shout anymore, so he sat down on the ground, and did not forget to give bad advice. Sister, puncture the tire. Chapter 22. Take off your shoes and throw them. It was very late and no one in Jiang's house had rested yet. When the well-performing car stopped silently at the gate of Jiang's house, Jiaojiao looked out of the car window and could see many people inside and bright lights, as if something big was happening. She frowned and looked at Jiang Yanzhi with a dark face. I'll be back soon. Are you still pretending? Pretend to be affectionate in front of others. Dislike each other behind their backs. Wei Jin, who was sitting in the passenger seat, chuckled and said fearlessly, Sister Jiaojiao, why are you pretending? It's as if no one knows who you are. But I really can't figure it out. Is Jiang Yanzhi not smart enough? Why would he choose you instead of anyone else to have a secret marriage? Luo Fei's hands trembled as he listened to this speech and he almost drove out again. The next second, the car door opened and the people in the car got out. Jiang Yanzhi grabbed Wei Jin's neck and threw him out, saying to Luo Fei, drive the car back. Luo Fei quickly glanced at the embarrassed master Wei Jin, turned the steering wheel swiftly, and drove away quickly. Wei Jin sat on the ground, his nose crooked with anger. Jiang Yanzhi, what do you mean? Aren't we brothers who have worn the same pants since childhood? You will die if you ask him to send me off. Jiaojiao also got out of the car. Her feet hurt and she couldn't stand steadily. Every step he took was painful, and the way he grimaced was really funny. My mother only gave birth to me, not a brother. Jiang Yanzhi said coldly, and turned around and walked into their house. Jiaojiao patted Wei Jin's shoulder from behind and said in a low voice, Xiao Jinjin, well done. Let me tell you, I also hate this secret marriage. If you have the ability to ruin us, you can choose any of my properties. Real. Wei Jin was a little skeptical, but why? I remember you liked him since you were a child. Stop it. Jiaojiao laughed, my 10 years of love have gone to waste. He doesn't deserve my love. Men are like a piece of shit-stained coin. She liked it when he was clean and tidy, and her heart was completely on him. Whether she was eating, drinking or having fun, she was thinking about him. But now he stinks and is not clean, what else does she want him for? Okay, I won't tell you. Wei Jin nodded like a chick pecking at rice, then keep your word. If I want to cause you to divorce, I will just pick up any property under your name. Jiaojiao snorted, staggered into Jiang's house on her aching feet. In the darkness, Wei Jin watched her walk into the door, then took out his mobile phone, opened his moments, clicked on the picture that Jiaojiao had just sent, and saved it. Oh! His cell phone is charged again. He just charged it in the car. Jiang Yanzhi was already waiting impatiently at the door. I don't know what that woman is up to. What is there to talk about with a fool like Wei Jin? But he was alone and didn't dare to go in now. Don't ask why, asking is just a sign of cowardice. His grandfather is here, does he dare to go in? You must not drag Jiaojiao along. Just when they were getting tired of waiting, Jiaojiao finally showed up. Jiang Yanzhi stepped forward with a sullen face. Why are you so slow? Even a turtle can crawl faster than you. If you can't use your mouth, throw it away. Jiaojiao directly retorted, I didn't ask you to wait for me. Why do you care how fast I climb? Her feet hurt so much that she'll have to ask Mrs. Wang to get her some ointment. You are self-aware. You are not fast when you crawl, but you are quite fast when you climb into bed. Jiang Yanzhi said with his arms crossed. Jiaojiao took off her shoes and threw them at him. You are fast, you are fast. I wish you were fast every day, every second. Chapter 23, The Pampered Daughter-in-Law. Jiang Yanzhi was still in a daze when the shoe hit her face. Jia understood immediately and was extremely angry. He grabbed her arm and pulled her over, gritting his teeth and saying, Jiaojiao. The shoe slid off his face and fell to the ground with a soft click. There was a shoe print on the man's face. It looks very funny. But he was so angry that he forgot about the shoe hitting his face. I didn't reach out to wipe it for a moment. In the light, Jiaojiao looked up at him and immediately burst out laughing. This laugh instantly diluted the tense atmosphere that was about to start a fight. This woman looks really pretty when she smiles, but she has an extra mouth. The man held her arm and couldn't help but loosen it, with a trace of inexplicable regret in his eyes. Forget it, why bother with a woman? The elders at home are still waiting. Jiaojiao, you must explain to me what happened today, otherwise. Jiang Yanzhi threatened with half-closed eyes. Jiaojiao didn't feel threatened by him. She kept her attention on his face. She was so uncomfortable trying not to laugh that she quickly put on her shoes. Oh, okay, it's just an explanation. I'll explain it. Jiang Yanzhi didn't expect that she would suddenly become so easy to talk to. He was clearly just hitting him with his shoes and baring his teeth. Throw your shoes at him. Jiang Yanzhi came back to his senses suddenly, let go of him, and reached out to wipe it. Jiaojiao felt a little sorry, leaned against the wall and said softly, actually, if you don't wipe it now, I will help you wipe it later. After all, her image as a good and obedient young wife cannot be destroyed. Just wait for me. You can imagine how angry the man was when he saw the dirt on his hands. Jiaojiao chuckled, why am I waiting for you? You are such a quick-tempered man, only a blind man would like you. She regretted it. She regretted what she had said to Su Wanrong before, that she would not divorce. She will definitely bring up this matter again with her mother-in-law. Don't think she won't complain, she will. Jiaojiao. Jiang Yanzhi shouted again, his eyes blazing with fire. It seems that I didn't satisfy you that night. When? When? If you have the guts, just say it. If you don't, just shut up. No means no, stop talking nonsense. Instead of chatting with me, why don't you go to the hospital and check your prostate? Jiaojiao kept chattering and was not afraid of him at all. Jiang Yanzhi's face turned even darker. He was about to take action again. Just as he raised his hand and stretched it out, the door in front of him suddenly opened. Su Wanrong's original surprise turned into anger when she saw the two of them arguing at the door, with the man even trying to hit the woman. She shouted in a rage, Jiang Yanzhi. Are you capable enough? You've even learned to beat your wife. Jiaojiao's mind worked quickly. She immediately let out a dry howl. When she couldn't cry out, she squeezed out the tears. She hugged Su Wanrong and cried out in grievance, Mom. You have to make the decision for me. Look at him, not only did he go out to hook up with some little witch, but he also came back to beat me. Woo woo woo, I really can't live anymore. Jiang Yanzhi's face had turned pale. He really didn't expect that this woman was so despicable and would be the first to complain. He took a deep breath and explained to himself, Mom, I didn't hit her. How dare you quibble? Su Wanrong yelled again, and then a little old man flashed out from behind Su Wanrong at great speed, and smashed her head with the stick in his hand. You little bastard. Are you deliberately going against Grandpa? Do you want to piss me off to death? Jiang Yanzhi was beaten, but he didn't dare to get angry. He felt so aggrieved that he wanted to vomit blood. Grandpa, no. This is all a misunderstanding. Misunderstanding? I knew you had a problem with me. You want to piss me off to death so you can inherit my estate, right? Jiang Yanzhi. What does this have to do with anything? Wrong. How did the scene suddenly slide in an increasingly bizarre direction? Trying to calm down, he turned his gaze to the culprit. Seeing that she still had the nerve to cry, he immediately felt a headache again. Jiaojiao, explained to Grandpa and Mom. I didn't want to hit you, I just saw that your hair was messy and wanted to tidy it up for you. Pooh. You bastard, I don't believe you at all. Jiaojiao hugged her mother-in-law who was even smaller than her, crying more and more uncomfortably, choking with sobs. Mom, you don't know. Today at noon, I wanted to eat lunch outside. But Yangji's white moonlight went, and she asked me to make room. I am such a kind, cute and weak little fairy, how can I be a match for the two of them? Woo woo woo, I feel so uncomfortable. Jiang Yanzhi. His face turned dark. I'm tired. It's a mess. Destroy it. I don't want to explain it anymore. Every word of this is nonsense, but every word of this is somewhat true, which makes him unable to clear himself even if he jumps into the Yellow River. He wanted to talk about how she had just hit him in the face with a shoe, but he probably wouldn't be believed in this situation. Seeing that his mother and grandfather looked like they were going to eat him, Jiang Yanzhi lowered his eyes and gave up. Grandpa, Mom, don't be angry, I was wrong. Grandpa Jiang kicked him on the leg and said, if you know you're wrong, get in here. Apologize to Jiaoer. Do you hear me? Yes. There is no hope in life. Therefore, Jiang Yanzhi still hasn't figured out until now why it was Jiaojiao who needed to explain when she came back, and why she wanted to go up the mountain to watch the stars with another man in the middle of the night. But as soon as he entered the house, he was the one who got beaten. Mrs. Wang prepared a sumptuous midnight snack and set up a large table for a lively feast. Then, Grandpa Jiang, Su Wanrong, his aggrieved daughter-in-law Jiaojiao, and even the housekeeper and Mrs. Wang all came to the table to eat, but they left his only grandson aside. He had to stand the whole time and serve at any time, waiting for Jiaojiao to eat and drink. If she wants to eat shrimp, he has to peel them for her. She wanted ribs and he had to give her hand-torn meat. If she wanted soup, he had to put it in the bowl. Jiaojiao was not polite either, and took advantage of the favor to act coquettishly, and made him run around in circles. Mrs. Wang and the housekeeper at the side did not dare to stay any longer. They quickly finished their meal and left the table to get away from this hellish scene. Then, this midnight snack lasted for several hours. When Jiang Wanhe rushed back at around 2 in the morning, it was not over yet. Naturally, Jiang Yanzhi had become completely numb under the violence of her father. Destroy it. This is unlivable. At 4 o'clock in the morning, the family finally washed up and went to bed. Jiaojiao took the ointment, and in Jiang Yanzhi's expressionless arms, the two went upstairs together. As soon as she entered the bedroom, Jiaojiao immediately jumped out of Jiang Yanzhi's arms, tiptoed onto the bed, and pulled the quilt. I'm going to sleep, you go. Jiang Yanzhi looked at her with a wooden expression, said nothing, and went into the bathroom to take a shower. Taking this opportunity, Jiaojiao quickly applied ointment on her feet, then stretched out her toes to dry them before lying down to sleep. While she was half asleep, the bed beside her sank and someone was whispering something in her ear. Jiaojiao was very sleepy, but she quickly opened her eyes. Chapter 24. He is so capable that he wants to reach the moon. The man had already hugged her whole body, and Jiaojiao was forced to crawl on top of him, and she suddenly woke up. She blinked and looked at the man who was so close to her. It really looks beautiful. The eyebrows are eyebrows, the eyes are eyes, the lips are thin, but ruthless. At least he was ruthless to her. As for the rest, she inexplicably thought of that night in the bar. He finished it in just a few minutes just to get the job done. TSK, it really deserves the word, fast. Fourth master, are you hugging me like this to please me or to curry favor with me? Just hug him. There was no one else here, and Jiaojiao was too lazy to pull hard against him. I'm sleepy, can you let me go? Jiaojiao said again. She pretended not to see the raging anger in the man's eyes. In short, as long as he was unhappy, she would be happy. Her happiness is so simple, so great. Jiang Yanzhi. Originally, he couldn't sleep and was very angry, so he wanted to have a good talk with her. But he didn't expect that this woman was so capable, and she made him angry in an instant. Jiaojiao, I suddenly feel that I have been too indulgent towards you. As Mrs. Jiang, you have everything. You should be law-abiding, but you always make trouble from time to time. Are you so wild? Can't you control yourself? Jiaojiao yawned. It's the same old stuff. I've heard you say this so many times that my ears are calloused. Hey, fourth master, are you going to sleep or not? I am sleepy even if you are not. She pretended to roll off him and continue sleeping. But the man hugged her tighter. I'm talking to you, but you want to sleep? I'm your husband, where do you put me? I know. Jiaojiao was so sleepy that she could only comfort him. You are my husband, this is legally recognized, I hold you at the top of my heart, I burn 3 incense sticks every day to worship you. Jiang Yanzhi. He had a lot of anger in his heart, but he couldn't vent it out, and the tone of her voice, which was like coaxing a child, made him even angrier. It's so frustrating. So, why was he bothering her so much at this late hour when he was not sleeping? He took a deep breath, turned over and sat up suddenly, and said with a serious face, You go to sleep, I'm not sleepy. With a bang, he slammed the door and left. Jiaojiao. It's already 4 in the morning, what are you doing? His eyelids closed in an instant and he fell into a deep sleep. Jiang Yanzhi didn't hear any attempt to persuade the person behind him to stay. He originally wanted to leave angrily, but then he thought, this is his home, why should he leave? He took off his clothes and went back to the bedroom, only to see the woman soundly sleeping. His heart, filled with rage, suddenly calmed down. Jiaojiao is the eldest daughter of the Jiu family in Haining City. She was also brought up in pampered condition, and who isn't a spoiled little girl from a wealthy family? Jiaojiao is even more wild. From childhood to adulthood, she will definitely get whatever she wants. But her values are also very positive. Apart from being a bit spoiled, she never bullies others and is also pretty. She has a face as bright as a rose, unrestrained and a little wild. She is very beautiful, but also has a bad temper. The closer you get, the more it will hurt. But when she was asleep, she was really quiet. As soon as that little mouth that almost made him angry to death closed, the whole world became peaceful, as if he had become a different person. Thinking of this, Jiang Yanzhi became inexplicably angry again. Why was he sulking alone while this woman was sleeping so peacefully? Reaching out to pinch her soft face, Jiaojiao raised her hand and slapped it away. "Stop it, I'm sleepy." The tone was whispering and coquettish, very soft and sticky. Jiang Yanzhi frowned. How could a woman who is always quick to attack others actually be so soft at times? He didn't believe it and continued to pinch. Jiaojiao got annoyed and opened her eyes suddenly. "Jiang Yanzhi, can you stop making trouble? I'm really fed up with you. Annoyed with me. You're annoyed with me but still want to marry me and try every means to marry me." Seeing that she woke up, Jiang Yanzhi became excited again. MDZZ. This guy is fucking 3 years old. Look at the time, it's almost 5 in the morning. If I wait a little longer, the sun will come out. Jiaojiao was also very convinced. "Is that what I wanted to marry? You were the one who cried and shouted to marry me. Don't think I don't know that you could have refused to agree to that marriage contract, but you insisted on agreeing to it." As soon as Jiaojiao finished speaking, Jiang Yanzhi grabbed her mouth and said, "Nonsense. Well, you are sick. How can you pinch someone's mouth?" She raised her hand to slap him away, and Jiaojiao kicked him again. Jiang Yanzhi's eyes darkened, and she looked at the empty thing under her quilt. Suddenly, she felt like her brain was buzzing. "You, sleep naked." Somewhere, the blood was rushing, and then it rushed harder and harder. He took a deep breath and his eyes quickly darkened. Jiaojiao's face twitched. "Damn. She's not wearing any panties." He quickly covered himself up. "None of your business." Jiang Yanzhi threw away her blanket and chuckled. "You are my wife, do you think it has nothing to do with me?" She was wearing pajamas, but when I looked at that place just now, there was nothing there. Jiang Yanzhi's mouth was dry, and he stretched out his hands to hold down her 2 arms that were waving wildly. His voice was hoarse but full of desire. "Jiaojiao, I know you have always coveted my body, and you are still jealous. Isn't it because I didn't satisfy you last time? This time I will satisfy you and let you see if I can do it." "Damn, this bastard is trying to force his way in." Jiaojiao was almost mad. "Jiang Yanzhi, wake up. Only a fool would covet your body, why would I be jealous? I tell you, I dislike you. Dirty." Before she uttered the last word, Jiang Yanzhi already didn't want to listen to her chatter anymore. I bent down and kissed her, kissing the last word into her mouth. She didn't hear it anyway. Spring flowers and autumn moons exist forever, and everyone likes to do beautiful things. When Jiaojiao was held down and kissed until her legs almost went limp, she gritted her teeth and yelled, "Can you f***ing let me go? I think you're dirty." "Is he dirty? How is he dirty?" Jiang Yanzhi was stunned for a moment, and finally reacted. Anger quickly appeared in her eyes. "So you are upset with me because of this? I have never touched any other woman. Except you. Huh? Haven't you touched it? I don't believe you." Jiaojiao has been in poor health for several days. Even when Bai Xiuxiu and Wei Yizhen asked her to go out and play, she didn't want to go. Lost interest. "I don't feel well, I don't feel like playing. It's raining outside again, and rainy days go well with hot pot. Bai Xiuxiu, let's go out for hot pot. I'll treat you and Wei Yizhen will pay. Hey, how about calling Lao Qin? I don't know if he's free." Jiaojiao was thinking about other things. Last time at the bar, when they had their first time, did she take the pills? My head hurts so much that I can't remember anything. Also, he said he has never touched other women, is that true? But whatever really. Damn it, that night, he succeeded. Now her waist and legs are sore and she dare not say he is incapable anymore. He is very good. The punishment must be from heaven. Chapter 25. Wait until I become Mrs. Jiang. Shinruoshua watched Jiang Yanzhi come out and was about to move forward happily, but suddenly she realized that this man did not see that she had arrived at the door of the meeting room. Her expression instantly turned ugly, but she was always good at acting and maintaining her fairy-like image. She quickly followed him and called out obediently, "Brother Yanzhi." Jiang Yanzhi heard someone shouting, so she stopped and turned to look at her. "When did you come?" "So, I really didn't see her just now." Luo Fei turned his head away, trying not to laugh. Jiang Yanzhi said, "The meeting has been postponed. I'll be out right away." Luo Fei responded and immediately went to the conference room to explain. Shinruoshua had already walked up quickly, holding up the porridge she had cooked herself. "Brother Yanzhi, my foot has healed, and I thought that I haven't come to see you these days, so I cooked some porridge for you. Have you had breakfast? The porridge is still hot, why don't you eat some porridge before you get busy?" Jiang Yanzhi raised his hand and looked at the time. "It's 10 o'clock in the morning. I'll have lunch directly." He was anxious to leave. The next second, Shinruoshua's eyes seemed to be filled with tears, but they were about to fall. She said with forbearance and generosity, "No, it's okay. If Brother Yanzhi has something to do, then go and do it. I was ignorant and shouldn't have disturbed Brother Yanzhi at this time." He spoke as if he felt very wronged. The meeting behind him had ended, and the senior managers who came out one after another looked at this scene with great surprise, and whispered, "It turns out that Mr. Jiang is such a warm man. He is so fierce to us, but he is so gentle when answering the call from his girlfriend. Who says it's not true? All men have weaknesses. I think this Miss Shin will most likely become Mrs. Jiang. I heard that Miss Shin and Mr. Jiang were a couple for years ago. I thought it was just a rumor before, but now it seems to be true. All right, we have to eat melons according to our ability. If Boss Jiang finds something wrong with us, we can't afford it." A group of people whispered and then dispersed immediately. Shinruoshua felt very happy when she heard the voice. She looked a little aggrieved just now, but in an instant she became very happy and her mood became very good. That's right. She just needs this kind of public opinion. She is the woman that Brother Yanzhi loves the most. As for Jiaojiao, so what even if they get married? Just a secret marriage. She has plenty of ways to make Jiang Yanzhi divorce and then marry her. Don't bother me, I just came at an inopportune time. Jiang Yanzhi glanced over and comforted Shinruoshua, "Don't take what they just said to heart." The joy on Shinruoshua's face froze. "What do you mean by don't take it to heart?" But Jiang Yanzhi did not explain, and called Luo Fei out again. "Miss Shin's foot injury has just healed, arrange a place for Miss Shin to rest." He turned around and walked away, his steps seeming to be in a hurry. Shinruoshua subconsciously wanted to catch up, but Luo Fei stopped her. "Miss Shin, our CEO Jiang really has something urgent to deal with. If you are free, please wait in this reception room." "No need." Shinruoshua took a deep breath and said directly, "I'm going to Brother Yanzhi's office." Luo Fei declined, "I'm afraid it's inconvenient." "It's not inconvenient at all. Brother Yanzhi likes me the most. I even brought him porridge that I cooked myself." Shinruoshua raised the thermos in her hand and shook it, with a SpongeBob sticker on it. "It looks very childlike. But for some things, you can't achieve your goal just by having childish fun." Luo Fei didn't take it seriously. "Miss Shin, there are many confidential matters in Mr. Jiang's office. You should go to the reception room. There are so many confidential documents. If something goes wrong, how will he explain it?" Shinruoshua's face darkened. "Assistant Luo, I've already said that I am Brother Yanzhi's favorite person, and I want to be Mrs. Jiang in the future." "Then wait until you do it." "You?" Shinruoshua took a deep breath and forced a smile. "Okay, then I'll wait until I become Mrs. Jiang before I enter this office." Seeing Shinruoshua turn around and leave, Luo Fei chuckled. "Don't worry, you will never be Mrs. Jiang in your life. There was only one Mrs. Jiang in their family from beginning to end." Jiang Yanzhi drove the car almost at the speed of sound and ran through countless red lights along their way. Bai Xiuxiu shouted on the phone, "Where are you? Hurry up. Jiaojiao is injured and she refuses to go to the hospital." Jiaojiao's face was full of black lines. "Can you not be so exaggerated? I just got a little scratched." "Is that a scratch? That's a broken leg." Wei Zhen was so angry that he slammed the racer's helmet to the ground. "Go to the hospital. You're seriously injured and bleeding too much. Do you want to die? I don't want to die. Jiaojiao took a deep breath and said helplessly, but look at my legs. What are you looking at? Don't look. Wei Yizhen's face was tense. He was just like a little puppy, but now he was fierce. Are you going or not? If you don't want to go, I'll carry you. Jiaojiao. Is it really necessary to be so serious? She really only had a small scratch. The dozen or so team members who were watching also saw this scene. They all had strange expressions on their faces and didn't know what to say. Just at this moment, Jiang Yanzhi's car rushed in and stopped at the periphery with a creak. All the team members dispersed. Jiang Yanzhi got out of the car, strode in, and saw a woman sitting on the ground. The pants on her right leg were torn and covered with blood. The entire right leg was covered in blood. Jiang Yanzhi took a deep breath. Do you want to die? You are so seriously injured, why don't you go to the hospital? What are you doing? Coming so fast. Jiaojiao glared at Bai Xiuxiu, but Bai Xiuxiu didn't look at her and said quickly, Fourth Master, her leg must be seriously injured. Let's go to the hospital immediately. Don't listen to her. Jiang Yanzhi had already squatted down and looked at her legs with cold eyes. Don't do dangerous activities like racing anymore. Why? Jiaojiao was anxious. Why do you care about me? Why should I care about you? If this leg is broken, you will be a cripple. What are you still playing for? There was anger in his eyes, but he was forbearing. It would be fine if you act recklessly at ordinary times, but you don't go to the hospital when you are injured. What do you want to do? Okay, I'll go to the hospital. Jiaojiao took a breath, but I really only had a scratch. I don't think it's that serious, I know what's going on. You have no idea. Wei Yizhen couldn't help but said, anyway, you lost this game. Don't think I will be soft-hearted and let you go just because you got hurt. Just wait for the auction. Oh. When it comes to dogs, you are the best dog. Bai Xiuxiu silently stepped back and let the two of them show the show. Jiaojiao finally went to the hospital. After the doctor cut her pants and cleaned her wound, she said, luckily we came early. Jiang Yanzhi was full of coldness. Is he seriously injured? There's so much blood, he must have been seriously injured. No. The doctor shook his head. If you come later, the wound will have healed. Chapter 26, Sour, Vegetable, and Redundant. Jiang Yanzhi's face changed, and he looked at Jiaojiao strangely. Jiaojiao spread her hands and said speechlessly, I just said it, it's just a scratch, none of you believe it. Jiang Yanzhi. His face was dark and he was very angry. But there was a doctor in front of him, he couldn't get angry, endure it. The doctor continued, but this abrasion also has the problem of size. Your abrasion is a bit large. Almost the entire outer side of the thigh was covered in blood. Although it is said that if it is delayed a little, the wound will heal, but it is a bit exaggerated. The wound really cannot be healed. After cleaning the wound, let it dry and apply some ointment. Don't let it get wet for 3 days, and it will be fine soon. Because the situation was urgent, Jiang Yanzhi took her to the hospital closest to the club, and she was not familiar with the doctors there. After getting the doctor's advice and the prescription, Jiang Yanzhi kept a cold face throughout the process as he paid the fees and got the medicine. It's over, a certain young lady still doesn't appreciate it. Glancing at him, she said, okay, don't worry about what happens next. I can go back by myself. Where are you going? Jiang Yanzhi asked, with flames dancing in his eyes and anger on the verge of exploding. Jiaojiao. I'm very busy every day, can you please stop making trouble? I just asked someone to get the car you abandoned on the top of the mountain a few days ago. Can you be more quiet? After marrying this woman, Jiang Yanzhi had to clean up the mess almost every day. Before, I sang karaoke and looked for young handsome guys. Now it's drag racing and getting hurt. Or he would complain. Speaking of complaining, he was also convinced. No one in the family stands on his side. Who is the biological child? I didn't say it was your business. I told you not to come to the hospital, but you insisted that I come. Jiaojiao muttered, hopping out on one leg. Jiang Yanzhi couldn't stand it any longer, so he bent down and picked her up. Jiaojiao, if you do it again, I'll take care of you. The sudden weightlessness in the air made Jiaojiao hug his neck subconsciously, fearing that he would drop her, and she hugged him tightly. Okay, if it happens again, stay away from me, and I won't look for you. The young couple looks really happy. But, they just get tired of each other. Jiaojiao's injury could not be concealed. Bai Xiuxiu immediately told Su Wanrong what happened here. Su Wanrong was frightened on the spot and her face turned pale. My poor Jiaojiao. No, I have to go and see her. If she needs to be hospitalized, she must be in the best ward and with the best doctor. Also, is her injury serious? Does she need to be admitted to the ICU? Bai Xiuxiu. I'm so confused. So, in fact, my sister, who married into the Jiang family, is still very much loved by my mother-in-law, right? When she heard about the ICU, Bai Xiuxiu quickly came back to her senses. That's not necessary, Aunt Su, Jiaojiao's leg was injured, and young Master Jiang has already taken her to the hospital. When Su Wanrong heard that Jiang Yanzhi was here, she felt relieved and said repeatedly, that's good. But Jiaojiao's injury is a big deal. Su Wanrong immediately called Jiang Wenhe again, and then old Master Jiang, who had just returned to the old house, rushed over immediately, his face so gloomy that water could be squeezed out of it. She said angrily, what's going on? Jiaojiao has always been well behaved, why is she always in trouble recently? Did the brat bully her again? Who knows? Su Wanrong was also having a headache. Was it really a mistake to let them get married? Otherwise, why would things always go so wrong? It's impossible to be wrong. However, husband and wife need to get along. Old Master Jiang said, Yanzhi has a wild temper. If he really didn't agree at the beginning, no one could force him to marry. But since he agreed and nodded, then this marriage must be maintained well. As they were talking, the two had already returned, and Jiang Yanzhi still carried Jiaojiao as she walked in. They both acted quite well in front of their elders. The loving young couple looks very harmonious. Grandpa, Mom, why are you here? I just have a minor injury, it's okay. Jiaojiao said obediently, patted Jiang Yanzhi and asked him to put her down. Jiaojiao landed on one foot and jumped over. Su Wanrong quickly asked her to sit on the sofa. She looked at the trousers she had put on before going out. They had been cut short, revealing her thighs covered with wounds. Her eyes went dark and she almost fainted. You said it was a minor injury. What if such a large area of injury leaves scars in the future? Girls all love beauty. They can't even wear shorts in the summer. Jiaojiao didn't care. Anyway, there's no injury on my face. That won't work either. Old Master Jiang said, this injury looks serious. Yanzhi, you know a lot of people, so go find the best doctor and get Jiaojiao some medicine. In short, no scars should be left. New. Jiang Yanzhi let out a breath. The coldness all over her body had not dissipated along the way and still had not dissipated now. But seeing her grandparents circling around that woman, Jiang Yanzhi felt pain in her eyes. He took a deep breath, went upstairs to take a shower, and called for ointment. The call was quickly answered by the other party, who said in surprise, Fourth Master, you don't come to me for no reason. You must have something to tell me when you suddenly call me. Tell me. I want the best scar-removing ointment you have. Jiang Yanzhi said, name your price. Wei Lan was stunned, and then he was very happy. Don't you always say that a man's scars are honor? Why don't you want honor anymore? It's not for me. Jiang Yanzhi listened to the noise downstairs, his face still grim. It's for my wife. Your wife? Oh. The wife of the secret marriage. Wei Lan was very curious. Didn't you say that the secret marriage was just a means to an end and that you would divorce when the time came? Why are you so concerned about it now? Wei Lan is engaged in drug research. I actually have the scar-removing ointment on hand right now. However, it is not on the market yet and the price is a bit expensive. Facing Wei Lan's gossip, Jiang Yanzhi didn't want to say a word. Send the ointment over immediately, you name the price. The call was disconnected. Jiang Yanzhi changed into a light home outfit and went downstairs. I don't plan to go to the company today. Yanzhi, after you finish taking a shower, take Jiaojiao to take a shower as well. Her legs are inconvenient, so remember not to get her legs wet with the bath water. I'll ask Sister Wang to prepare something delicious for you. Su Wanrong glanced out the window. The weather was gloomy, without even a ray of sunshine. I don't know if it will rain again in a while. Turning to Jiaojiao, he asked, Jiaoer, what do you want to eat? We had hot pot for lunch, and it's almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon now. It will be dinner time soon. Sour fish. Jiaojiao thought for a moment and said, Mom, is it okay? Okay. Su Wanrong smiled very gently, the main dish is pickled fish, and the rest can be something lighter. Okay, thanks Mom. Jiang Yanzhi. No one asked me if I was allergic to fish. Also pickled fish. Sour, vegetable and redundant. Chapter 27 Mom, Jiang Yang's family abused me. Jiaojiao glanced at the man who had just come downstairs and was stiff all over, and immediately had evil intentions. She hugged Su Wanrong's arm and shook it like a coquettish child. Mom, I feel uncomfortable all over now, and my clothes are wet. Will there be bugs? It won't get bugs. But it's very uncomfortable to be like this all the time. No, just wait and take a hot bath. Su Wanrong hurriedly coaxed, turned her head to look at her silly son, frowned and said, the meal hasn't started yet, you take Jiaojiao upstairs to take a bath, what are you still standing there for? Move. Jiaojiao laughed in her heart. She was so happy when she saw a man who looked like a wooden stake coming towards her with a gloomy face. TSK. Let you bully me. Bending down and hugging her like a princess, Jiang Yanzhi's forehead was throbbing with veins, and her face was expressionless. Mom, I'll take her upstairs to take a bath first. Go. I'll call you when the meal is ready. Su Wanrong happily urged the two of them upstairs. Oh, what a perfect match. My old man also has a keen eye. Handsome men and beautiful women make me feel happy just looking at them. In the whole Haining City, only the girl from the Jiu family is a perfect match for my son. The bathroom is already filled with water. Jiaojiao injured her leg and was a little inconvenient. Although the injury is not serious, the area of the abrasion is quite large. If you move a little, you will feel a tingling pain like needles. TSK. This minor injury is not life-threatening, but it is quite stressful. This is not the first time that the young couple has been alone. Jiaojiao was inexplicably in a good mood. Even though she was injured, she felt very happy at the moment. She still had the mood to wink at him and said with a smile, what's the matter with the fourth master? You always have a stern face. Is your laughing nerve not developed? Jiang Yanzhi. I'm not rich at all. Without saying a word, he condescended to pick up the woman again and carried her into the bathroom. The water in the bathtub was already warm. There is also a small stool placed next to it. Jiaojiao leaned on the stool and sat over. When she turned around, the man hadn't left yet. She asked in surprise, do you want to watch me take a shower? This woman, Jiaojiao, is also a pretty little beauty unless she causes trouble or rebels. Unfortunately, there is just one more mouth. Jiang Yanzhi looked at her face and snorted, it's nothing new to see you. Your breasts are not big, your waist is not thin, and your legs are a bit fat. You are a woman with flaws all over your body. I feel like I boogers if I look at you for one more second. Very good. Every word you say, fourth master, hits the nail on the head. Jiaojiao widened her eyes and looked at Jiang Yanzhi. Then he widened his eyes again, lowered his head to look at his breasts which he thought were still pretty good. Are you fucking blind? This is called small. Once Jiang Yanzhi started to speak venomously, he couldn't stop for a while, and glanced at him with contempt. Not small, just bigger than Wang Zai's bun. Oh. If you have the guts, complain. If you have the guts, don't ask him for help. It made him look like a found thing, which was so frustrating. Jiang Yanzhi. Go to hell. Jiaojiao couldn't bear it any longer, so she grabbed the small stool under her and threw it at Jiang Yanzhi, who dodged sideways. Bang! The stool flew out through the door, making a loud noise. The next second, the startled people all looked upstairs, and then Su Wanrong gnashed her teeth and shouted, Jiang Yanzhi. Are you itching for trouble? You even learned to smash things. Jiaojiao shrank her neck and instantly slid into the water, with her thigh raised high and resting on the edge of the bathtub, shouting at the top of her lungs, Mom! Someone's dying. Help me. Make your hair messy as quickly as possible. Then, in order to make it more realistic, he pinched his neck twice with his hands. It instantly turned into a domestic violence scene. Jiang Yanzhi looked on in amazement. Chapter 28, A dog will always eat shit, bar. Jiang Yanzhi. Then is there a possibility that the injury is real, but the one who did it was herself? Mr. Jiang was shocked. You mean, she pinched herself? What else? Jiang Yanzhi would not have believed it if she hadn't experienced it herself. After all, this really happened to him. Mr. Jiang. You youngsters are having fun. I won't ask anymore. It's just annoying to ask again. Downstairs, Jiaojiao finally took a shower and changed her clothes with the help of the maid, and her messy hair was blown dry and tidied. I also changed my pajamas to cotton and linen ones, so even if they touch the wound, it won't cause any pain. Then, a pair of eyes cried like rotten peaches. Mom, even though the fourth master is your biological son, I still have to say, this isn't the first time he's hit me. Woo woo woo, I know, he just doesn't like me, he just wants to strangle me to death. Seeing her dainty daughter-in-law burst into tears again, Su Wanrong felt a headache. From a selfish point of view, she really likes this daughter-in-law. In addition to a good family background, she also has a good figure and even better looks. What satisfied her most was that her daughter-in-law's personality was the most compatible with hers, and they were almost like close mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, or even close friends. She was also the kind of person who said what she meant, had a clear gaze, was efficient, and had a very positive mind. She was to her liking in every way. It's hard to find a daughter-in-law like this even with a lantern, so why doesn't that brat live a good life? He always attacks and even chokes people, he's simply courting death. Oh, my poor baby, don't cry. Look at how injured you are. How about taking you to the hospital first? She was really heartbroken. Su Wanrong was about to take her to the hospital. Jiaojiao paused for a moment and wiped away her tears. Mom, I don't think it hurts that much anymore. We don't need to go to the hospital. How about giving him another chance to correct his behavior? She was crying bitterly just now, but now she seems to be really fine. Su Wanrong also felt that this matter was very bad, but when her daughter-in-law said to give him a chance, she still breathed a sigh of relief. Okay, give him another chance. Jiao, mommy tells you, if you really feel pain, we still have to go to the hospital. Not going. What are you going to do? The doctor can tell at a glance that the injury was caused by pinching herself. Is she framing the fourth master? Mom, I'm hungry. I want to eat pickled fish. Okay, let's eat. We'll eat whatever you say. Su Wanrong went to urge her in person. Jiaojiao sighed and thought that this mother-in-law was the best in the world, even better than her own mother. Dinner was served quickly. Except for Jiang Yanzhi, who was punished and not allowed to eat again, everyone else ate happily. Of course, even though Su Wanrong scolded him, she couldn't bear to really deprive her only son of his meal. But she was annoyed after seeing this, so she sent him to the kitchen to eat leftovers. After eating, the old man rested. Su Wanrong took a yoga class, and Jiaojiao, relying on the fact that she was disabled, went back to the bedroom and climbed on the bed to play with her mobile phone. On WeChat, Jiaojiao created a small group. Originally there were only by Xiao, Qin Shencheng, and her, it was a group of 3. But now, there is one more Weizhen. In a small group of 4, start voice chat directly. Oh, Sister Jiaojiao, what did you say? You actually have the ability to trick Jiang Xiaoxi, how did you do it? Weizhen asked in shock in the group, and gave a thumbs up. JPG. Boss is awesome. Oh. He has the guts to say that my breasts are not big, my waist is not thin, and my legs are a bit fat. I have the ability to chop him to death. Jiaojiao cursed while pressing the screen at a speed that sparks flew. Posted picture, dogman.jpg. In fact, it is obvious that personal emotions are at work. Qin Shencheng. 6 points were sent out, and one more sentence was added. Well done, men can't be spoiled, or they will go crazy. By Xiao, Fut. You sound like you're not a man. I say, Lao Qin, you are also a man, so should our Jiao Jie spoil you. Weizhen spoke quickly. Sister Jiao, look at me, look at me, look at me, I need to be spoiled. After I am spoiled, I will definitely not be arrogant. I am the most beautiful flower in your heart. Jiao. This idiot. No more chatting, go to sleep. It was already late, and after such a busy day, she was feeling sleepy. I quit WeChat, threw my phone aside, set the air conditioner to 18 degrees, and covered myself with a blanket to sleep. Half an hour later, when Jiang Yanzhi came upstairs with a gloomy face, Jiaojiao was already sleeping soundly. Even if Jiang Yanzhi walked to the bedside, she opened her eyes suddenly, and when she saw it was him, she immediately lay on her side and fell asleep in seconds. Jiang Yanzhi. Seeing that this woman could sleep so soundly even after doing something bad, Jiang Yanzhi really felt that since she had taken the blame, she might as well strangle her to death now. But, looking at the pile on the bed in the moonlight, I calmed myself down and my face turned very dark. A favored woman is always fearless. Moreover, he really discovered that his position in this family was definitely at the bottom. Even the dog in the yard has a higher status than him. After thinking it through, Jiang Yanzhi no longer wanted to sleep in the same bed with her, so he turned around and walked out. Coincidentally, his cell phone rang at this moment. He picked up the phone quickly, and the moment he heard it, he heard the loud sound of music exploding. It was a call from the bar. "Hello, is this Mr. Jiang? There's a lady named Shen here, she said she's your girlfriend, she's drunk alone, can you come pick her up?" Jiang Yanzhi quickly turned around and glanced at the bed. Jiaojiao was still sleeping soundly. He frowned and lowered his voice, "Help her get a taxi. I'll give you the address." The bartender was very tactful. "Mr. Jiang, this is not just a taxi issue. After she got drunk, she also smashed our bottle of good wine. She needs to pay the price." Jiang Yanzhi. Silence, send the location. Jiang Yanzhi put away her phone and opened the door to go out. After he left, Jiaojiao sat up from the bed, looking at the door that had just been closed with cold eyes, a hint of sneer passing through her heart. "Oh. A dog will always eat shit, you deserve to be blamed." I fell down, covered my head and tried to sleep again, but I couldn't fall asleep. The small group of 4 was pulled out again. "I am your Jiaoyi, hey, are you all asleep? Those who are asleep should show their heads, and those who are not asleep should forget it." The cold and arrogant Wei Zhu, "Sister Jiao, am I still asleep or not?" Wei Zhen is a night owl and usually doesn't go to bed until the early hours of the morning. The young lady from the White Snake family, stupid face.jpg. "By the way, Sister Jiao, are you crazy? Who can show up after sleeping? I am your master, I don't care. I can't sleep, you guys go out with me." The young lady from the White Snake family, "That's not good, at this late hour. Send me the location." "Aloof, you Wei Zhu, here I come." "Doctor." Qin Shencheng was on night shift, but there were no critically ill patients tonight. He glanced at the duty record and called another doctor on duty over. "I'm going to be out for a while. Call me if you have anything." The doctor on duty was his student, and he agreed. "Okay, master, I'm here, don't worry." Qin Shencheng patted the student on the shoulder and said, "Young man, you have a bright future. It's rare that this ancestor wants to go out to play so late at night, he must be in a bad mood." Thinking of the gossip information that had just been sent, by Xiu and Wei Yizhen did not hesitate for a moment and immediately set out to await the visit of a certain handsome man. Chapter 29. Accompany your uncle. Haining sky and children's faces, it rains when it says it will rain. When Jiaojiao arrived in her sports car, several people were already there. However, the road conditions were bad and not suitable for racing, so the 3 of them looked at her and then, unanimously agreed to go to the underground black market. To put it bluntly, the black market is open at night. The market open during the day is called the morning market. The things sold in the market that opens late at night are rare items that cannot be found during the day. The sellers are still the same ones, but the items on display are different. "Sister Jiao, you know what, this place really has everything. As long as you have money, you can even sell the Queen's Phoenix crown. What's more, they are genuine products with a real price." Wei Yizhen said with a sigh. He is a rich second-generation young man with no shortage of money. He goes to all the fun places in Haining City. Qin Shencheng seemed much more serious, but his eyes were still not enough. He walked to a stall selling medicinal herbs in 2 or 3 steps and looked at one of the herbs. "How much is this?" The seller was an old man. He looked skinny, but his eyes were full of spirit. After guarding the stall all night, a buyer finally came. The old man didn't hesitate and started to show off. "5. 5? What do you mean?" Qin Shencheng asked. He didn't understand the jargon here. "It's 500,000, Wei Yizhen explained. Wei Xiu was looking at a stone with great interest. She heard it and couldn't help but exclaimed, "So expensive." Jiaojiao also came over and glanced at the old man. Oh, he's an acquaintance. But he didn't say anything, just stood aside with his arms folded. The old man was not convinced and said with his eyelids rolled up, "Don't buy it if you think it's too expensive. Is my 100-year-old wild ginseng worth 500,000 yuan? It's hard to come by. If my family wasn't short of money, I wouldn't sell it." Jiaojiao touched her nose. She remembered the wild ginseng that was auctioned at U Group last time. It was also 100 years old and seemed to have been sold for 1.3 million. If this ginseng is real, 500,000 is indeed not expensive. It's a bit expensive. Qin Shincheng evaluated it seriously. He usually didn't go to the black market, and he didn't understand the market situation. But he was a doctor, and he could diagnose and treat the ginseng with ease. He saw that this wild ginseng was not what he expected. 500. I want it. Qin Shincheng said. The old man almost jumped up, his eyes wide open, furious. "Boy, are you here to smash my stall? I'm selling it for 500,000, and you bargain for 500? Get lost. Be careful or I'll beat you up." The old man blew his beard and glared. He really wanted to take action. On the side, Wei Yizhen and Bai Xiuxiu watched and gave Qin Shincheng a thumbs up. "I admire you. You really dare to bargain. This ginseng is not 100 years old, nor is it purely wild. It is artificially cultivated, 8 years at most. 500 is a lot from me." Qin Shincheng said that he might not understand anything, but he knew what was true and what was false. Old man. The old man was stunned for a moment. Wow, I didn't realize there are people who know what this is about here. So what? This is a black market. I have the final say. You can choose not to buy my stuff, but you can't say my ginseng is fake. The old man's face changed instantly, and his voice became louder. Several big-armed stall owners from the nearby stalls quickly gathered around him, rolled up their sleeves, and chuckled at Qin Shincheng. "Boy, if you have the guts, give me another price. 500? If you give me 500, I'll smack you in the face, believe it or not." Qin Shincheng is a doctor and a scholar. Although Wei Yizhen is a bit wild, he has a small frame, and is a weakling. Bai Xiuxiu and Jiaojiao are just two girls, and they have no fighting power at all. If a fight really breaks out, these people will definitely end up in a miserable state.